Friday Night Football on TSN. Tonight, Lions, Al. Come on in.
Fire up the lights and let's get ready to go. Boys are all here, gonna put on a show. Show us your colors, say get ready to go. It's Friday Night Football, it's Friday Night Shalom. Yeah!
Oh, what a catch! Touchdown! Touchdown! What a hit! Spectacular! The stadium is rolling. Is it Friday already?
So show us your colors, going coast to coast. Friday Night Football on TSN, let's go.
Our first Friday night of this young CFL season, and we got a couple of games. Capping off the doubleheader will be the Ticats and Edmonton. First up, though, it is the Montreal Alouettes hosting the BC Lions. Welcome inside our studio, Rod Smith, along with Jock Climie, Milt Stiegel, and Chris Schultz, and a tale of two quarterbacks in this one tonight who struggled in different ways in week one. The veteran Kevin Glenn had a good start in his first start with BC, ended up with 4 picks, matching a career high. But Troy Smith really struggling in Calgary for the Alouettes in the opener, completing only 18 of 41 passes. Milt, looking at these two quarterbacks, if one of them is going to bounce back in week 2, who has a better chance of doing it?
Well, the way they played last week, I think both of them will bounce back because they can't play any worse than what they did last week, because if they do, we'll have a 0-0 tie. Both of these players have to pick up their game if they want to have opportunity for their team to win. So I think both of them will definitely bounce back.
I think there's great urgency because both quarterbacks almost have to reestablish themselves as leaders of the football team. But I have great concern for Troy Smith because of the inaccuracy of the passes consistently in that Calgary game. Kevin Glenn, 155 games he's played. Troy Smith, 4 or 5? Concern is for Troy Smith.
Well, I'm thinking Kevin Glenn just had a problem with color blindness there. I mean, he threw 4 interceptions. That's his only problem. He actually played a decent game, but for those interceptions. Troy Smith, it didn't matter which color jersey. He couldn't complete a pass. And that's an accuracy issue. So I expect Kevin Glenn, with his experience, he will look at the film and realize, boy, I could have just done this, this, and this differently, and that's not going to repeat itself. Troy Smith doesn't have that kind of leadership or coaching, I think, to necessarily turn a game around. I just hope he can settle in, use his athleticism more, and regain his accuracy.
Okay, so that one is coming up from Molson Stadium in Montreal. We'll get you there in a moment. Russell Worrell of Chilliwack, BC. You could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kick is returned for a touchdown in today's game, thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. If a second kickoff goes to pay dirt, you could also win $1 million. Good luck on that, Russell. Gord Miller and Matt Dunnigan will have the call coming up.
Back in the 50s.
On a beautiful summer night in Montreal, it's Wendy's Friday Night Football as the BC Lions play the Montreal Alouettes, who make their home debut for 2014 tonight. And on this July the 4th, we welcome viewers in the United States and wish you a happy Independence Day wherever you're looking in. As two teams coming off tough losses last week trying to rebound, Matt Dunnigan.
Absolutely. You heard our new host, Rod Smith, task the boys in the studio. What happened to this guy last week? Well, he's trying to figure it out, too. Only second time he's thrown 4 interceptions in the ball game his entire 14-year career. He's looking to rebound, and this young man, quite frankly, is just trying to figure it out, period. And he's going to need some help. You need help with the system, and you need help from veteran players around him in order to have success tonight against a tough defensive unit.
Troy Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner in 2006 at Ohio State. First-year head coach for the Alouettes. Tom Higgins says the Alouettes were more than a quarterback away from winning last week. His defense gave up a 102-yard touchdown to the Calgary Stampeders. Higgins spent the previous 6 years as the CFL's director of officiating. And meantime, on the other sideline, Mike Benavides and the BC Lions lost at home to the Edmonton Eskimos last week. That gives them as many home losses this year as they had all of last season. They were not a good road team last year, 3-6, and lost a heartbreaker here to the Alouettes last year, 39-38, one of the best games of last year's CFL season when Tanner Marsh, the backup quarterback for the Alouettes, led them to a fourth-quarter comeback in a thriller here in Montreal. But all eyes on the two quarterbacks, Matt, as it's so often the case. But for the Alouettes, who are so accustomed to having great production from the quarterback position, this is new territory for them in the last decade or so.
Yeah, I like to use the term etch-a-sketch. You got to etch-a-sketch what's happened over the last 16 years with Anthony Calvillo as your quarterback and jump back into reality. This young man is going to need some help, and he's in a tough spot. We'll talk about it this evening, about the systems, the things that he's tried to learn since becoming a CFL football player over the last year, and the disarray that this club seems to be in out of the gate in 2014.
You see him talking to Chad Johnson there. Johnson made his CFL debut last week for the Alouettes in that loss to Calgary. Had 2 catches for 20 yards in the football game. He has talked at great length the last couple of weeks about the talent level in the CFL, being very close to that he saw in the National Football League in his long career there. As you said, there are probably more great football players in the NFL, but the talent level up here is just as good.
Yeah, I watched Chad. I watched a video back, the football game last week, and Chad was simply sucking some wind out there in the football field. It's a big field. He's been out of the game for a couple of years. He's in great shape, keeps himself in great shape, prides himself on that, but very difficult to try to find his footing here with the young quarterback, a system that's, like I said earlier, is in a bit of disarray, and we're going to need some veteran leadership from help that young man out.
BC Lions won the toss. They deferred to the second half, and so the Montreal Alouettes will receive and begin play here to start things off on a Friday night, the first Friday night game of the year in 2014. Both these teams lost in their divisional semifinal last year. The BC Lions were defeated in Saskatchewan by the eventual Grey Cup champions, and the Alouettes were beaten by the Hamilton Ticats. So Ricky Schmidt will kick things off to Larry Taylor of the Alouettes.
I think incredible pickup, Ricky Schmidt, for the BC Lions. I think incredible talent to have. Really giving you field position with his ability to punt and certainly kick the ball. And I think big bonus for the BC Lions. You know, Paul McCallum, he's doing his thing. He's got 7 straight right now, a current streak, 17 in the last 18. But that guy needs to be involved big time for the Alouettes. Create some field position for him. Only 5 touches last week for 40 yards in returns.
And Calgary was careful to keep the ball away from him in that game last week, the former Stampeder. So Schmidt to kick things off, and we're underway here in Montreal. A low driving kick to Taylor at the 10-yard line, and Larry Taylor works his way ahead and goes leaping out to the 30-yard line. And he's brought down there by BC's Torrey Williams. So Troy Smith leads the Alouettes offense on the field. Starters to watch are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. Troy Smith has got his football team, and he's going to need some help from, like I said earlier, some veterans. And Brandon Whitaker, who saw limited touches in the second half, particularly last week, and S.J. Green, who needs to be involved all the time in this offense.
And the first down carry goes to Whitaker, who gets tripped up after a gain of about 3 yards. And here's how the Lions look with key players on defense.
Yeah, and you can pick them there. I think this is their strength of the football team, is their defense. And Adam Bighill, spectacular football season last couple of years. And Kareem Smith, I picked him out because he's a heck of a football player. Dante Marsh, 11th season lockdown corner on the short side of the football field for the BC Lions.
So Smith on the offense faced 2nd and long now after a gain of 2 by Whitaker on first down. And Smith back to throw, swings it out for Whitaker. Long way to go for Brandon Whitaker, and Saul Elimimian buries him at the 35-yard line. 3 yards short of a Montreal first down, and the Alouettes are 2 and out for their first possession.
Yeah, and I like what I see. They're trying to get Whitaker involved, 2 touches in a row, run the football, establish line of scrimmage, high percentage throw for the young quarterback, with him swinging out of the backfield, and hopefully he can make some people miss. Sure-handed defense and tacklers like the BC Lions, they said, yeah, we'll take this all day. 2nd and long, come up and rally.
Sean White, the ex-BC Lion, is back to punt, and Stefan Logan there to receive. And Logan from his 30. Beats the first wave. He gets brought down by Montreal's Stephen Lumbala. 45-yard punt, a return of 6, and Kevin Glenn coming off one of his worst days as a CFL starter, which he quite candidly admits is looking for some redemption this week.
Yeah, and he's coming off his 2 best couple of years, and that's why he is a BC Lion. And you give him a get-out-of-jail-free card last week, because that was more, I think, Edmonton defense than anything else. But Matt Norman is center's third-year player, and certainly he's going to have to squeeze the football and step on Logan some more this ball game.
Andrew Harris in the backfield with first down carry, and Harris dives close to the 40-yard line.
As the Lions defense is a stranglehold for them, so is certainly Montreal Alouette defense. Kyrie Zaber in the headlines for a rough hit on John Corners. Most outstanding player last year. Chip Cox, your most outstanding defensive player, and Marco Briette, one of the best free safeties in the league. He's always going to put his defense in good situations. Love to watch those guys fly around the football.
Keep an eye on Ryan Cave at left tackle for the BC Lions, making his CFL debut tonight. He's only been in camp for 3 days. And Glenn is under pressure, and he is dropped by John Bowman. And Bowman, who lined up on the other side from Cave, gets across and drops Kevin Glenn.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, he's right here, and he's just going to do his thing. This is pretty simple, straightforward. He's been doing it a long time in the league for 9 seasons from Wingate. Just kind of loops back inside as Briette goes to the outside. Gets to Kevin Glenn.
Flags down. Schmidt with a high kick to Taylor. And more flags are down as Taylor gets pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. There was a flag down as soon as the kick was made. It's a 49-yard punt, a return of 13, pending the 2 flags. One would appear to be for too many men.
You decide for that, Gord. I think I get the back end as face mask.
Okay.
You think it's too many men here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre Prue is tonight's referee.
And what a beautiful night it is here. Oh, this is a night to live for here.
Poured rain this morning.
While the ball was in the air, illegal block, Montreal, number 95. That penalty's declined. Still, when the ball was in the air, illegal block, Montreal, number 31. 10-yard penalty. Illegal block, Montreal, penalties declined. First down.
They got him for a bundle.
We're 0 for 2.
Troy Smith and the Alouettes will go back to work when Wendy's Friday Night Football continues from Montreal after this. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Baconator. Wendy's, now that's better. With the penalty that was accepted, the Alouettes will start at their own 11-yard line. And on first down, a play fake to Whitaker. Smith is up and throwing, and he's got a man, Eric Delorier, the Alouettes' leading receiver last week. He's out close to a first down, and we'll have it as he gets to the 26-yard line.
Absolutely in disarray last week. A kid that just couldn't see the field, didn't know what he was looking at, forcing the issue often, overthrows, guys talking about his accuracy. That's what happens when you have a tentative quarterback, not sure what's being asked of him. Certainly what I saw on that 1st and 10 play there, play action, get him outside on the edge, move the launching point. That plays to his strengths. Simplifies the game form, cuts the field in half, meaning he's only got half the field to read as it's in front of him, makes an easy throw, puts his team in 2nd and short.
Yeah, they mark it as a gain of 9, so Tanner Marsh and the short yardage unit come in, and Marsh dives ahead and should have enough for a Montreal first down. So it was a tough week last week for Troy Smith, and he said he's completely responsible.
100%. I am the play caller. I am the single voice that speaks in the huddle. I am the extension of our head coach. I am the extension of our offensive coordinator, et cetera, et cetera. So it's on me to fix it. It's on me to get better. My teammates will handle and take care of their responsibilities accordingly, but it's on me.
And the give on first down is the end around to Kenny Stafford. And Stafford gets up to the 35-yard line. A gain of 8 on the play. Stafford was cut by the Lions, or the Alouettes, last year in training camp, picked up by Calgary, played 3 games with the Stampeders, and made the Alouettes again this year in his second go-around in training camp.
Yes, I like this misdirection. You know, try to keep these big boys on their toes and from pinning their ears back, so they play action, got the quarterback on the edge. Now they got a little reverse, and I like what I'm seeing from Ryan Dinwiddie's offense early on, giving his quarterback a chance.
And back to the ground to Whitaker. And again, Solomon is there to limit the gain, although Whitaker close to a first down as he dives out to the 37-yard line, which is what he needed for the first down. It'll be close enough to measure. So last season, Dan Hawkins fired as the head coach for the Montreal Alouettes.
5 games in, yeah.
They fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Mike Miller took over.
Brought in Doug Berry.
But Berry takes over.
This year in training camp, Rick Warman, new offensive coordinator, fired a couple of days into training camp.
9 days in, yeah.
So on the right, there's Ryan Dinwiddie, who is the new offensive coordinator.
Fourth offense
in less than a year for the Montreal Alouettes.
No wonder Troy Smith is swimming.
Well, no wonder the whole offense is swimming. Now, Dinwiddie has said he's trying to keep as much of the Warman nomenclature as possible in the offense, but it's not possible to call someone else's offense.
It's uncomfortable, and it's foreign for everybody. You got Ryan Dinwiddie, and, you know, this is not his fault that he's thrown in this situation. It's a difficult situation to try to gather your thoughts and get the team going the right direction.
Marsh is back in on short yardage, and once again dives forward and move the sticks for the Alouettes. And of course, Marsh was the man who engineered the comeback last year against the Lions.
Ooh, that was exciting. That was the whole Marsh Madness thing, and that's kind of taking a back seat due to the young man that's under center right now for the Alouettes. But I can guarantee you this: Ryan Dinwiddie's doing everything he possibly can to get this football team going in the right direction. They've got a lot of veteran leadership on that football team that's accepted accountability and are saying the right things. Nothing like a win to kind of smooth the edges a bit for the Alouettes.
On first down, play fake now to Lumbala, and the quick throw to Brandon London, who was submarined right away by Dante Marsh.
Dante Marsh, 11 years in, he's been doing his thing for a while on the short side of the football field, playing cornerback. He leads the BC Lions all-time in tackles. All-time in tackles. That was his 562nd tackle as a BC Lion in the Canadian Football League.
Game was 4, 2nd and 6. And here comes the rush. Smith is back to throw. The pass is too high. As he was looking for Whitaker, it'll be 3rd down again for the Montreal Alouettes. So the drive began deep in Alouettes territory. Smith takes them out close to midfield, but the drive stalls there.
Yeah, he knew he was going for the ball was snapped. He's trying to get underneath the Whitaker. And again, BC Lions defense, 2nd and long situation, playing things underneath, meaning they drop back, let them have the underneath throw if they can make it and rally the football. Didn't have to that time. Ball's a little high and outside.
And White to kick, Logan back to receive. Good high kick by White. Logan from the 22. And Stephon Logan does a good job to get to the 30-yard line, which is where the BC Lions will start when we come back to Montreal. Well, Ryan Cave began this CFL season trying out for the Alouettes, winds up a BC Lion. Here's John Liu with more.
Well, thank you, Gord. And Ryan Cave was in the Alouettes training camp, but was cut 2 weeks ago. And one observation that the Montreal coaching staff made was that Cave had trouble containing the pass rush, especially against fast defensive ends who would try to go around him. So even though the veteran John Bowman got that sack on the blind side in the first possession, look for a speedy rush. And like number 95, Chris Wilson,
Bones picked off. The lateral goes to Chip Cox. It's a touchdown for the Montreal Alouettes. And the play begins with Scott Paxson picking it off out of midair and then lateraling to Cox for a defensive touchdown by the Montreal Alouettes. How about that?
Paxson looked like an option quarterback after he caught that. Unbelievable. Didn't even think twice. Hops out, plays the end, kind of gets in the middle of the throw, knocks it down one hand, catches it, looks back. There's Chip Cox, makes a nice lateral little option shovel pass back to Cox, and it's an easy walk-in for 6 points in the Alouettes.
And the Alouettes, who led the league in turnovers forced last year, get a huge one here to take the early lead on the Lions, 7-0.
Paxton's filling in for Jermaine McElvain, who's Nick from last week's play, and he steps in, second-year man from Penn State. Made a really headsy play. Last week we saw Eddie Steele pick up Kevin Glenn. Here he is right here. He's right there in the end of the line of scrimmage. Watch him. Keep your eye on him. You see Cade go down. He sees it, reads the backfield, gets his big mid on it, flushes it back to Cox, and Cox is going to walk in. Nobody's going to catch him from that point forward. Athletic play by Paxton. Oh, that's sweet. I thought Eddie Steele looked athletic last week at D lineman making headlines with a sweet grab. That right there was money. kind of did the two-hand shovel, but hey, it worked. It's effective. I mean, it wasn't even a thought process. He just pitched it out there and it was perfect to Cox. Look at it, everybody's talking about on the sidelines. Why not? You don't see that every day in football. Kevin Glenn can't believe it. He said, really?
There's a guy who threw 7 interceptions all of last year, who's now been picked off 5 times in the first 5 quarters of the season.
Now he's down to 2. He can only throw 2 more in the rest of the year.
Long way to go.
Yeah.
And now White will kick it off. And here's Logan from the 12. Stephon Logan gets a couple of blocks and gets out to the 32-yard line, and now Kevin Glenn will come right back on the field after throwing another interception.
This last week when he tallied 4 off the get-go, and Eddie Steele right there, sweet hands, bringing it down this high hit run. It's coming across late. That's just great defensive play. That's a forced ball there. That one's on Kevin Glenn, and this one here's on Glenn as well behind the receiver. So 2 out of the 4 he's got to accept responsibility for. Of course, he took all accountability for all 4 of them.
Now he fumbles the snap, and the ball's still loose, and Glenn has to pounce on it. By the way, that was the 6th touchdown for Chip Cox in his Canadian Football League career. Most of his come via the fumble recovery.
That guy's just all over. It doesn't surprise me. He's on the tail end of that play. He gets the ball in his hands. Just a defensive reigning MVP of the league, and justifiably so. The guy's been just a workaholic and comes up with plays when the Alouettes need it. And that was huge for this football team moving forward.
Loss of 5 on the fumble now, and the Lions in a deep hole from their own 27. Glenn over the middle, had a man. It's incomplete, trying to find Courtney Taylor.
Chip Cox right on his backside. Marion Taylor, I think he got a hand in there. Made Glenn stick a ball in there that was a very small window, and Cox was right on his hip, and I think got a piece of that football. And Kevin Glenn looks like he's in a bit of disarray here already.
And now Schmidt to punt. Great high kick. Chases Taylor back to his 32-yard line. Larry Taylor looking for a seam. And he got planted.
Yes, he did.
By Jason Araki, a 51-yard punt, an 8-yard return. Cox in the pit, the lateral to Cox, and it's 6 for the Montreal Alouettes. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Gord Miller, Matt Dunnigan, John Lewin, our TSN production crew here in Montreal on this Friday night with the Alouettes leading 7-0 thanks to a defensive touchdown as Troy Smith and the offense take over just inside their own 40. And again, the first down carry goes to Brandon Whitaker. And it's a gain of maybe a couple on the play as Josh Johnson comes up to make the stop, first-year man out of Purdue.
And Brandon Whitaker only 12 touches last week. Most of those coming in the first half. You can see it there. 9 carries, looked like he was in a nice rhythm in the first half. Every time he touched the football, he's making people miss, doing the two-way thing through the air on the ground. And then the second half, he's a forgotten man. Young quarterback trying to learn a new system. Give it to that guy.
Now on 2nd and long, Smith is back to throw. The pass is caught. And now off and running is Kenny Stafford. And Stafford gets buried into that electronic sign on the sidelines. But he's got a Montreal Alouettes first down and a gain of 14 yards.
That's the idea. Defense forces a 2nd and long. You got to take what they give you. You can't force the issue. Troy Smith throws it underneath and hopes his receiver, Kenny Stafford, can make somebody miss. That's exactly what he does, and he moves the chains. That's smart football. That's not forcing the issue. That's relying on your playmakers to make plays.
So the Alouettes cross midfield for the first time. And Smith throws to Whitaker, and Brandon Whitaker dives down the 45-yard line of the BC Lions. It's a gain of 8. And Brandon Whitaker, you call him two-way, as a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Worth noting that he has as many touchdowns receiving this career as he does rushing.
Yeah, he's playing against a guy in Andrew Harris who's very similar in that capacity. He's got the ability to both hurt you through the air and on the ground, and phenomenal backs that have multifaceted abilities to contribute to the offense. I like what I see there. A little dump down situation, quarterback checking it down, smart play, putting himself in second and management situation.
And now on 2nd and short, Whitaker dives in across the 45. Gain of maybe 2. He'll be close to another Montreal first down. And you see Ryan Dinwiddie. The funny thing is Dinwiddie replaced Kevin Glenn in 2007 with Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie, the younger man, is now coaching. Glenn is still playing.
Yeah, sometimes football just doesn't make sense. What's happened in Montreal this year doesn't make sense with Warman's firing, him taking over. Tough situation for the young 33-year-old. But I guarantee it, he's doing, along with his coaching staff, doing everything they can to try to put number 1 and the rest of that offensive unit in a better situation. Can you imagine you're 30 years old, trying to figure out the Canadian Football League game. You've gone from Miller to Barry to Warman to Dinwiddie's thought processes, trying to fill the shoes of probably the best that's ever played in Anthony Calvillo, and you're trying to figure it out on the fly in a tough situation. That guy's filtering through a lot of stuff right now.
And Tanner Marsh on the short yardage offense come back on 3rd and less than a yard. And Marsh once again gets worked over a bit by Elamimi at the end of that play, but he's got another Montreal first down to move the sticks, and the drive continues.
That's a good way to put it. Worked over by Elamimi. That's something you don't want to hear come out of a broadcaster's mouth. But I tell you, that is tough sledding in there. Pow! Both of them. That is just ugly sledding in there. It's nasty. You've heard me say it before, folks. That's a mass of humanity you don't want to be involved with. Unfortunately, as a young backup quarterback, sometimes that's the stuff you have to go through in order to earn that position to be the number 1 guy.
So a fresh set of downs for Smith in the offense. Play fake to Stephen Lamella. And now Smith up and throwing the passes over the head of Brandon London.
Now that just looks like to me that was his footing. He had Whitaker out in the flat right away, but he got a little greedy and pushed the ball down the field, finds himself in 2nd and long. He may want to rethink that thinking.
You know, Matt,
here it is. Here it is. You're watching play action. He's got people in his face right here. He tries to pop and step his feet, but he never gets settled. That's because he's got pressure in his face by Bazzi, and then ball floats on him. That's going to happen every time when you're not locked down in your fundamentals and technique, and that's not typical for this young quarterback. And I'll speak about that as we get going.
Now on 2nd and 10, Smith stands in and throws over the middle. Pass is caught by Stafford. Kenny Stafford moving up the field, dives ahead, and he'll be marked out of bounds just inside the 34-yard line. This is going to be a full yard short of a Montreal first down, so decision time for Tom Higgins.
Yeah, again, you got to throw underneath. You can't force the issue. Defense wants you to push the ball down the field. Stafford just running a drag underneath, finds his soft spot in the defense, gets a block or a semblance of one, and then stretches for it. Come up just a little bit short. But So you got to do that. You got to give those guys an opportunity, and Stafford's having a big effect here early in the first quarter.
So, Matt, the convenient narrative on Montreal last year is that Anthony Calvillo got hurt in their 7th game of the year and their season unwound. But the fact is, they were 2-5 in the games that Calvillo started.
Yeah, and he was confused with what was going on with the new offense that Miller and Hawkins were doing. And you're talking about one of the best, if not the best, of all time that's confused, let alone a guy that's figuring it out at 30 years old. And 4 offensive philosophies later, trying to be fundamentally sound and productive and efficient as a quarterback in this game, which you have to. And very difficult challenge in front of Troy Smith moving forward.
So just under a yard to go, and it's Marsh and the short yardage team again. They're getting a workout here in the first quarter. 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. The Alouettes lead by 7.
Yeah, I think this could be Tanner Marsh's like 5th carry of the game.
Not fancy.
No. And
take the snap and dive ahead.
But effective.
And then get hit in the mouth by Saul Aluminium.
Oh, that gets old in a hurry.
That's the third down gamble of the opening quarter for the Alouettes. And they move the sticks again. And this drive impressive now down to the BC 32.
Yeah, field position. Defense putting a score on the board. Field position. Being methodical, patient. All but that one 1st and 10 pass that he got a little impatient on. I like it.
Smith had his good moments last year for the Alouettes. Completed about 52% of his passes. 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And here's Whitaker again on the first down carry. Brandon Whitaker, room to run. In across the 20. Gets the block in. Brandon Whitaker is gone. Touchdown, Montreal. A 32-yard score. And it caps off a 71-yard touchdown march for the Alouettes.
Yeah, right between the tackles this time. Cut back 2-way, showing you can do it out of the backfield. Nice move on LaRose in the middle, and then he gets some help on the outside. An escort from Chad Johnson and Kenny Stafford in the end zone. Euphoric start here for the Montreal Alouettes, playing things close to their best on offense. High percentage throws, pound Whitaker, get a defensive score. That's why they play the game, Gord. I wouldn't have predicted this one. I usually do a thing in the studio saying, scores! You guys got to give me a score. I want to know what they're thinking about this one right now.
The Alouettes off to a terrific start, up by 2 touchdowns in the opening quarter on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Coming up, the second half of our doubleheader has Zach Collaros and the Hamilton Ticats taking on Mike Riley and the Edmonton Eskimos. The Eskimos went to BC last week and beat the Lions on their home field. Collaros, the new #1 quarterback in Hamilton. So an 8-play, 71-yard drive capped off by the 32-yard run by Brandon Whitaker. Sean White puts that kickoff high in the air and short. Here's Logan from the 22-yard line. And Stefan Logan, look out. He got hammered on the special teams play as hustling down the field for Montreal was Winston Venable.
Yeah, Brandon Whitaker, he helps himself. He presses the hole, meaning he stays hard on side of the hole. You watch Christian Matt right here. He's just going to kind of get leverage on the defensive tackle right here and knocks him flat, blows out a tire, and then Whitaker presses the hole, bounces back, then it's an escort in the end zone. We call that a walk-in, exactly what Montreal needed.
Now Glenn going over the top, and pass was on target for Kito Pobla, but he couldn't bring it in. It'll bring up second down.
Kito Pobla in his 3rd year really needs to start producing. I think that's why he was expendable in the Corey Banks trade with Winnipeg. And we all know how that's turned out. But this kid, he's got all the parts. He just needs to put it together because we're seeing that too often from the young receiver.
Second and long now, again, for the Lions, and a flag comes down.
Too many men.
Too many in the huddle, likely, for the BC Lions, and so bad gets worse.
Illegal substitution. BC at 13 men in the formation. This is a 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Lions were only penalized 7 times last week, and they were the least penalized team in the CFL last season.
Yeah, it's music to Mike Benavides' ears. And
not right now, it's not.
No, it's not. That was Keto Pogba. He was still thinking about that drop pass, and he stayed out there in the formation when he wasn't supposed to. And that's going to injury to insult. Insult to injury.
Either one works. Now Glenn throws, and the pass is incomplete. He was looking there at Ernest Jackson.
Okay. Now, I've been here in that situation, and as a quarterback, it's going to test your mettle. I don't care if it's your first game or your 155th game like Kevin Glenn's. When guys put the ball on the ground, you just got to bite your lip and go to the sidelines and continue to throw the ball with confidence and trust in your eyes and putting it on them to give them a chance, because oftentimes you can start being tentative and then the ball's not located where it needs to be, out with timing, and it affects your game. You just got to stay locked in here for Kevin Glenn.
Now Taylor takes the punt at the 40-yard line, reverses his field, and Taylor up across midfield gets into BC territory and down to the 48-yard line. 4 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. The BC Lions have -7 yards in total offense in the football game so far.
Yeah, no, last week against Edmonton, they jumped out and had a really nice first quarter, had a 14-7 lead after the first quarter, and it didn't work out very well for them, so maybe they're trying a different tactic. Fall back 14 and see if they come back and be on the winning side of the ledger.
Last year, they led by 2 touchdowns twice in the football game against Montreal, only to see that fourth quarter comeback engineered by the Alouettes. Should be the final play of the opening quarter. And the carry goes to Stephen Lumbala, the younger brother of Raleigh Lumbala of the BC Lions. And he'll pick up a couple on the play. So the Alouettes get a defensive touchdown, and Brandon Whitaker rumbles in as well. The Alouettes playing their home opener, lead by 14 on Wendy's Friday Night Football. So here are the numbers after the opening 15 minutes of play. And whenever you see a minus, that's not a good sign. -7 total yards for the BC Lions, and not included in that is the interception, return for a touchdown, Paxton laterals to Chip Cox. So we started this game talking about all the things that Troy Smith had to worry about. Some of the BC Lions offense looks like it's having problems.
Yeah, all the attention has been on Ryan Dinwiddie, the new offensive coordinator, unlikely offensive coordinator for the Montreal Alouettes. But Kahari Jones has led offense, the new offensive coordinator for the BC Lions. The last 7 quarters has basically been non-existent. They've got some struggles going on themselves, and they need to figure it out here because the Alouettes are gaining momentum quickly.
And they'll start the second quarter in BC territory at the Lions' 47-yard line. Here's Smith back to throw, has some time, and fires underneath. He's got Stafford, and Stafford lost the football, quickly dives back. And the Alouettes will maintain possession, but be short of a first down.
Yeah, I like it, but I also saw S.J. Green breaking open on a corner route down the field, and I might think about taking a shot to 1-9. Yeah, here he is right here. Stafford's in here. That's who he's going to go to, but you got S.J. running down here, and I think he's got leverage on the man responsible for the air outside there. You see the corner bite down.
And now you'll have White with a long field goal try from the 49-yard line. Dave Stalla with the hold. And White, with not much wind, puts it wide to the right. And Logan brings it out for BC. And a great shoestring tackle made there by Christian Matt of the Alouettes. Montreal doesn't add to its lead, still up by 14 early in the second quarter.
Hey, if you're excited, give me a hell yeah! Hell yeah! Man, we got another great opportunity tonight to play the game that you love. You fly around, and you fly around, and you play your ass off, give it everything you got for each other, man. It is time for us to play the kind of football that we were built to play. It is time for us to execute from beginning to end. It is time for us to protect the football. It is time for us to go out there with the DNA, run, hit, be nasty, man. Lions were made to go eat and feast. Let's go eat and feast all day long. What are we here to do? Win. Let's go, let's go. Let's go.
Well, it hasn't exactly started that way for Benavides and the Lions. Of course, the host team for the Grey Cup championship, and the host team has won the last 3, kicked off by the Lions, who won at BC Place in 2011. So Kevin Glenn and the offense begin at their own 13-yard line. High snap, flags are down, and Andrew Harris with the carry, but the play is called before the ball is snapped.
Yeah, the question is in the studio, I have a question for the guys in the studio. Does that resonate with the players' second week of the season?
Still first down.
What Mike Benavides says to his club, how much of that sinks in, how much of it just goes in one ear and out the other.
You saw Ryan Cave call for procedure, the rookie left tackle for the BC Lions, who's only been in camp since the middle of the week.
Going backwards, they're minus 12 now in total yards.
And from the end zone, Glenn's under pressure, throws, and it's complete to Ernest Jackson. Jackson's off and running out across the 25-yard line. Finally brought down by Billy Parker, a gain of 17. And a BC Lions first down, a much-needed one here in the second quarter.
Yeah, you watch Ryan Cave, all eyes are on that left side of the offensive line with Player making his second start and Ryan Cave making his first start at left tackle. A little stunt there, and then he ends up throwing a no-hitter, and Kevin Glenn's pressured. Does a nice job of finding his outlet underneath.
First down of the game for the BC Lions. And on first down, here's Logan with a carry, bounces outside, and Stephon Logan pushed out of bounds by Kyrie Zebair. The gain close to 10 yards. Zebair, of course, had to wait a long week after that clothesline tackle on John Cornish of the Calgary Stampeders. He was fined, but not suspended for the hit. It was a 25-yard penalty and an ejection from the game.
Yeah.
And Hebert was fined the maximum amount under the CFL's new collective bargaining agreement.
There he is, got the angle on him. He's sizing him up and comes right across the neck. Cornish is, he's out right there. And that was a scary moment. Of course, what set that up was a couple plays earlier, Nick Lewis on a nice block, a legal block on Marco Brouillette that knocked him.
The game was time. The short yardage team is on for the BC Lions.
So it's kind of a perfect storm last week, and how those two plays happened basically back to back, and really added an extra attention and element to the Hebert hit on Cornish. But that guy's a professional hitter. He knows where he's coming with that arm there, and it was directly across Cornish's neck. And Mark Cohen in the league says, no, that's not acceptable, taking half his game check. The biggest fine you can take from a Canadian Football League player.
That was Travis Partridge in the short yardage unit for the BC Lions, and now Glenn comes on. By the way, of the 3 quarterbacks dressed for BC, Glenn's the only one who's thrown passes in the regular season. The other 2 have not. And here's the end around again for the BC Lions. And here's Jackson trying to get away, but he's brought down by the arm of Aaron Laverius. And the gain is 3 on the play.
Yeah, I'm a big Aaron Laverius fan. Kid last year is working his way into the lineup, playing mostly on the edge, but they moved him back to the middle linebacker spot. Plays all over Noel Thorpe's defense, but he basically made the departure possible of middle linebacker Shea Emery that went to Toronto. And he's all over the place. He's a heck of a football player, I'm telling you. Multifaceted. Gets a lot of things done from Noel Thorpe in that defense.
And the only sack for the Alouettes last week against Calgary. Glenn on 2nd and long, under pressure, and he is sacked again.
Whoa.
And Laverius is in there. A flag comes down at the end of the play. Scott Paxson was in as well, along with John Bowman. And the penalty appears to be against the Montreal Alouettes, rather.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look. And the pressure comes from the opposite side.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle. Montreal, 15-yard penalty enforced from where the play started. An automatic first down.
So they didn't give a number, but it is a horse collar or high tackle from behind.
Gord, again, you're going to watch Bowman slap in here, but watch this guy right here. The guy we're talking about tonight, he throws another no-hitter on the opposite side. Basically, his man drops, and he's lost, right? And then you see John Bowman come on a little twist over through the A-gap, getting pressure on Kevin Glenn again.
And he grabs him high by the back of the jersey.
That's unfortunate. That was a well-designed defensive stunt play, executed well by Montreal.
Sets the Lions up in midfield as Stephon Logan gets down to the 51-yard line before a Bear makes the stop on him. Gain of 5 on the play for the Lions.
You don't want to give this offense any momentum. You don't want to give them any life, and basically that's an extra out in the inning for the BC Lions offense, and typically that usually makes you pay, particularly with a guy like Kevin Glenn and that guy there, Kahari Jones. Getting another crack of being an offensive coordinator. Well, he was an OC back in Hamilton. Now he's putting his time in Saskatchewan and BC, and he's calling the shots for the Lions offense.
8th play of the drive, and Glenn is dropped. Bowman with the initial pressure. Alan Michael Cash finishes him off. So the 3rd sack of the opening half for the Montreal Alouettes. And the Lions will have to punt.
Yeah, again, it's the same stunt on the other side. Bowman's down here. He's going to come inside. He's going to put this man, a guy that is certainly under the spotlight right now, in peril because he's got nobody block. And there he goes. He can't catch up to him. He's locking on. They're going big on big to try to help the kid out. And the stunt that the Montreal Alouettes continue to run has been working wonders because they know that the Lions are trying to help their left guard and left tackle with big on big up front. And when you latch on like that, it's hard to do when they're stunting up front.
There is Taylor on the kick return, gets out to the 28-yard line. There is a flag on the play. It'll be a hold against the BC Lions to bring the return back somewhat. So 3 quarterback sacks in the opening half for the Montreal Alouettes. And Ryan Cave, as we mentioned, the 29-year-old, is having, as you might expect,
holding
a tough
Montreal, 10-yard penalty. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Lions trail by 14. Wendy's Friday Night Football returns to Montreal after this.
Yeah, Gordon, I mentioned before the break that BC's trying to go big on big. That means you got big men on big men, right? But when they start stunting, it's hard for the big men to latch on and move their feet. And you watch Ryan Cave kind of get lost here when Bowman, on a little stunt over the A-gap, gets to the quarterback again. Nice job of scheming by the Montreal Alouettes, taking advantage of that inexperience on the left side of the BC Lions offensive line.
Play action fake to Brandon Whitaker. The pass is incomplete to S.J. Green. By the way, Whitaker's touchdown run in the opening quarter of 32 yards is the longest of his CFL career and his first touchdown in the league since July of last year. Of course, Whitaker missed the last 9 games of the season last year and 11 overall. Second straight year last year that he really had injury problems.
Yeah, and you know that he's capable when he's healthy. You know, we saw it with Chad Cacker with Toronto. He had the load and he was productive, and you saw the wear and tear in him. Certainly, running backs.
That pass almost picked off, and then Delorier makes the catch up to the 18-yard line. He'll be just short, it will appear, of a Montreal first down. He can hammer into the signage on the near side of the field.
It's a good thing this was to the short side of the field because it's not a very far throw, but if it was any further, it was going back the other way. It's coming right in your kitchen sink here. Strong arm, tight spot, stuck it in there. But I mentioned Chad Cacker from Toronto because he's now the strength and conditioning coach. When he got the load given to him after Corey Boyd was gone, he took that load and shouldered it very well, and he saw how quickly it really wore on him. And same thing with Brandon Whitaker, a tremendous back that kind of took over for Avon Coburn.
Yeah.
And boy, he's fun to watch when he's healthy. I'm glad to see him back out there being productive for an offense that needs him to be.
You know, you can say all you want. They've had great running backs here. As you see, they're just short of a first down. They've also had a tremendous offensive line here for a long time.
Oh.
Jeff Parrott and Josh Bork are 2 of the best. And, of course, Scott Flory, who was a perennial CFL All-Star, retired in the offseason.
Yeah. And then you got people like Ryan Bombin in the wings and Christian Matt who stepped up, Luke Jordan in the middle. You ask Tom Higgins and the coaching staff.
Now, Mike Benavides, the BC coach, has thrown the challenge flag, so he's going to challenge the spot on that play, I believe, or is he going to challenge possession?
Yeah, I think he challenged possession because Delorier looked like once he had secured the ball in front of the initial defender, second defender in, jarred it loose as he was going out of bounds. And this is what Benavides is challenging. Left-hand side of your screen, Ball's going to be fit in there nicely right here in front of the first defender. And then here comes Big Hill. He jars the ball out right there.
BC is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. The play will be reviewed.
So they're challenging whether or not Delorier had possession of the football. And this is a critical point in the game. If it's incomplete, then you're talking about the Alouettes having to punt. With 9.5 to go, and BC would have good field position.
Yeah, flipping the field position. They need some right now because they're not doing anything offensively.
Mike Benavides was interesting last week when Kevin Glenn took responsibility for throwing the 4 interceptions. He said, this is not our quarterback. He was very quick to say he's a pro, he's going to take responsibility and own up, but there was a lot more wrong than 4 interceptions. Do you think this is a catch, Matt?
Well, it's not here. It's not yet. And I don't think he ever secures it. I think this is a good challenge by Mike Benavides. I think this will be overturned.
Upon review, the ruling on the field is confirmed by replay. It was a completed pass.
There you
it's
go.
Be third down.
What do I know? That's why I'm in the booth. I just don't. I didn't see a catch there. I never saw him have possession.
So now an unsuccessful challenge by BC. It's 3rd and short, and again, on comes Tanner Marsh and the short yardage team for a 3rd down gamble for Montreal. 4th time they've done it. Marsh bounced the 1st time. Now he's got room to run. He's got Whitaker with a block, and look at Tanner Marsh go. Marsh out to midfield, and one of the greatest broken plays you'll ever see. Sees the Alouettes get to the BC 51-yard line for a gain of 41 yards.
Oh, wait a minute, Gord. I've seen Doug Flutie run a quarterback sneak and go 70 yards for a touchdown. And just like, what's going on? I mean, it's plugged up initially beautifully by the interior defensive lineman of BC. Over the top, Big Hill and the Elmimian getting hit. Oh, Kareem Smith, and then he's out to the outside. Ryan Phillips tracking him down, running him out of bounds.
So instead of 1,
yes.
Marsh gets 41
How good is
and a
that?
1st down to the Lions 51.
More Marsh madness.
And on 1st down, Stephen Lumbala with the carry, and he gets stacked up very quickly as Josh Johnson comes in to make the stop. So it's been a busy first half for Tanner Marsh. The first 3 were pretty straightforward, literally, as he just took the snap and went ahead.
Yes.
Ho-hum, usual quarterback sneak, right?
Yeah, he obviously he's gone to the jock climbing, Matt Dunnigan sneak school.
Yeah, dive ahead.
And here, point, he takes one from both Kareem Smith, Adam Big Hill, and bounces the outside. Whitaker tries to get a block. Ryan Phillips is in hot pursuit. Marsh says, thank you very much. I'm going to make an impact here, whether it's on short yardage situations or not. He won't be denied.
I think the BC Lions have seen enough of Tanner Marsh the last year or so.
Yeah, well, Benny, he's still mad about that one.
2nd down, Smith is brought down. The ball popped out for a moment. Smith grabbed it back, but it's a sack on the play by Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson, first-year player from Purdue. He had 4 tackles and a sack last week, getting involved. Took Corey Banks' position as he was traded down the road. Earlier, I told you, for Keto Povlov. And he comes in and shows you he knows how to tackle and hit a quarterback. Nice. 2 first-year players from Purdue in the BC lineup. Starting lineup, I should ask.
And now White is back to punt. Low driving kick skips off the turf. And Logan bobbles the football. Flag is down. Logan gets it back at the 15-yard line. Alouettes lead by 14. But the Lions are storming back as the defense steps up. CFL Fantasy is now a reality. Go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy to set your roster for a chance to win a trip to the 102nd Grey Cup and a Joseph Abboud suit for Moores. Every pick counts. Make yours today. So no yards against the Alouettes' illegal block against the Lions, and BC will start at its own 9-yard line. Kevin Glenn, play fake, off and throwing, and he's got a man complete to Sean Gore, and Gore out to the 23-yard line for a BC Lions 1st down. Gore did not catch a touchdown pass last year for the BC Lions at 3 receptions last week for 43 yards.
Yeah, Sean Gore is going to fake like he's going to come in and block and free releases. Nobody's on him. He gets a block right there. He could still be running. I want to see 85 break out loose because he's got some he's got some good wheels.
Chris Smith, first-year corner for Montreal, made the stop. And now the first down carry. And Andrew Harris gets stacked up on the play very quickly. Chip Cox in to make the tackle. Cox is approaching the top 10 all-time in tackles. Now, we should say, Matt, that stat has only been kept for the last 20 years or so. So guys like Ray Nettles, who are grinding their teeth back home in Vancouver, would tell you that they might have had a few hundred tackles in their day as well.
I'm sure they would, and they'll tell you about it. But he just needed 4 coming into tonight's contest to pass Kelly Wiltshire to move into 10th spot all time since they kept that stat.
No gain on first down. Now Glenn up and throwing on second, swings it out. And the pass is caught by Courtney Taylor. And up in the air he goes as the stop is made once again by Chris Smith, but it's another first down for the BC Lions, a gain of 15 yards.
Yeah, right in your kitchen sink. Kevin Glenn rolling to you. Knifes the ball with a receiver and can turn upfield without breaking stride, and then a nice tackle. Courtney Taylor, well executed all the way around.
And Bowman once again lines up over Ryan Cave on the near side of the field. 7 on 57. And they run it that direction. Logan cuts it back. And Scott Paxson jumps over him. The ball is loose. The football's out. And the Montreal Alouettes are saying they have it.
Gerald Brown looks like he ended up with it.
He's at the bottom of the pile and comes up with the football. So another turnover by the BC Lions. Now remember, this season, all turnovers are reviewed automatically by the CFL Command Center.
Yeah, this is Stephon Logan going to try to cut it back here and get stuck right at the ball by the big man, Scott Paxson. Kind of looked like he tackled him by the neck.
Now his knee is
jumps
down
on
right
there.
No, the ball was out. So that's clearly a turnover by the Lions.
And then it kind of get kicks around right here. Angry Bird trying to pick it up. And Kyrie Zabear, then finally Gerald Brown gets his mitts on it. Everything's working out well for Montreal here in the first half. Bouncers are going their way.
So a first down at the Lions' 43-yard line with 5 to go in the first half. And Smith up and throwing, and the pass is knocked away by Dante Marsh. He stepped in front of S.J. Green.
I don't think the young quarterback's looking at the defense on this play. He just makes up his mind, and this could have gone the other way. Dante Marsh was just waiting for it out there. He's got people open, but he tries to force this one in. He just, watch his eyes. He'll go to his left right away. Pre-snap read supposedly took him there, but he tries to force this one in there. Dante Marsh very easily could have gotten his 30th career interception.
Now on second and long, Smith off and running, a long way to go, being chased from behind by Big Hill, but Smith secures the football, gets a first down on a gain of 16 yards.
Ball security is an issue there almost. He's stepping up in the hole there in the pocket and saw some daylight, and watch him coming right at you. Another twist up front by the Lions. They don't cover down the gap. Ball's kind of rolling out there. Good thing Adam Big Hill didn't have another step on him. That could have been on the ground, but Troy Smith showing you his versatility. 30-year-old getting it done with his legs.
They fake now to Stephen Lumbella. A sidearm throw by Smith. Incomplete for Brandon Whitaker.
I talk about Troy Smith, and guys back in the studio, I know Schultze's talked about his mechanics and his ability to improvise, but he credits his mechanics and certainly his fundamentals coming from Joe Daniels, God rest his soul, passed away a couple years ago, on Ohio State quarterback coach for a number of years. And he had talked to Troy. Boy, he knows that this guy credits Joe Daniels with all the positive things that he's been able to do as a quarterback and his mechanics.
They fake. The pass was batted down at the line of scrimmage by Alec Bazzi. And Alex Bazzi, first-year man out of Marshall, was a man who basically, for the BC Lions, made Chris Wilson expendable. And Wilson wound up here in Montreal.
Yeah, and he's been a big factor. You know, he's kind of guy on the other side of Kareem Smith right now, unsung hero, but oftentimes when the guy on the opposite side is making plays, it's because you're forcing the issue to him, and often the case with Bazzi early on.
35-yard field goal try by Sean White, who missed his first attempt of the game from well out. Spalla with the hold, and White a low kick but puts it through. And the Alouettes lead is extended to 17 with 3:07 to go in the first half. So the Lions down by 17 points after a home loss last week. And the story then, as it is tonight, turnover.
Yeah. Paxson showing you his versatility, dexterity. Little pitch back to Cox. Again, making it happen, causing the fumble. Gerald Brown says thank you. It's been more than just turnovers. It's been creating opportunity, flopping the field and field zone. And it's things have been going well for this Montreal football team. Much needed. It's why they play the games. Tell you what, hats off to Winnipeg for starting the season off the way they have, 2-0 at home. Incredible what Osha's got those boys doing over there.
On first down, they try the end around again. And moving ahead for the Lions is Corey Williams. And Williams pushed out of bounds at the 46-yard line, has a BC first down. We've reached a 3-minute warning in Montreal. It's been all Alouettes in the opening half. Wendy, Friday Night Football returns in a moment. Back in Montreal, about 10 minutes from where Jeannie Bouchard grew up in Westmount. And tomorrow, history could be made again as Bouchard becomes the first Canadian woman to play in a Grand Slam final. Our exclusive coverage to kick off tomorrow morning. Breakfast at Wimbledon at 8 a.m. What a story she has authored. She is the talk of this town and the country.
Cuts out the middle of it still for his run. Incredible play.
First down for the Lions. Kevin Glenn throws underneath, and it's Jackson with the catch. And we got a passenger with him as Jeff Tisdale hangs on to limit the gain to just a couple. So Tisdale named to the CFL All-Star team last year, led the CFL with 7 interceptions.
Yeah. He and Gerald Brown were locked down.
And fair to say, Matt, that the defense was the reason the Montreal Alouettes were able to get to the playoffs, as the team really struggled offensively for most of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. And Noel Thorpe's done a great job with this unit. They're unpredictable, and they play sound, and they got players that can make it happen.
Second and long for Glenn and the Lions. And Glenn throws it through the hands of 2 intended targets, Corey Williams and Ernest Jackson, 8 and 9.
Yeah, that's made to order there. Tisdale almost got his hands on that one. Kevin Glenn looked like a broken route in the boundary. Watch these both receivers get underneath each other. There's Tisdale there. Both these receivers are too close to each other. Kevin Glenn, look at this. They're right underneath each other. That's a bust there. I can guarantee you that Corey Williams has got to sit down there and put that corner in a bind. He sits down, just doesn't turn his back to the quarterback. He's got that for an easy pitch and catch.
Another great punt by Schmidt. Taylor, not much he can do. Gets up to the 28-yard line, an 8-yard return, a booming 41-yard punt by Schmidt. Will have the Alouettes in deep.
Gordo, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about, the short side there, and this is miscommunication that happens early on, and you got a young receiver trying to find his legs underneath him in the offense, and you watch what happens to the boundary. If he just comes up here and doesn't turn his back to the quarterback and sits right here, he tries to run an out, turns his back to the quarterback, and gets underneath the wide receiver, just go up there and sit down. He turns his back. He doesn't need to do that. Go up there and sit there by the center, the C and on the field there, and the ball's an easy catch for you, and Tisdale doesn't have an opportunity for an interception.
So under 2 to go here in the first half, and the Alouettes with the ball at their own 28-yard line. Here's Brandon Whitaker with the carry again. And Whitaker runs into a group of BC Lions for a gain of maybe a couple on the play. So the key for the Owls, and really for Troy Smith, play with the lead. And one thing Tom Higgins said was, we were behind so early last week, we never got a chance to really use the things in the offense we wanted to use.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, because it was 11-0 ball game, and I know wind was a factor, and so you should pound the ball even more.
Didn't score a touchdown to the final play of the game. Didn't score a point in the first half.
Yeah.
And now Smith is back to throw, and the pass is almost picked off. Dante Marsh had eyes like silver dollars, and that should have been a BC touchdown.
Yeah, it just, I mean, Dante Marsh been doing this for 11 years. He's here, he's going to sit, and he's going to break. He's not going to get out of his back pedal. He's just going to sit there and break. Watch him. Sit, break. Ooh, that should have been 6 the other way. Oh, boy. Well, I was hearing it from Dante and Ryan Phillips about the top 50 players poll that we do every year, as we always do when we come to the park. Players showing the disdain for some of the selection.
White looking for the sidelines. Here's Logan letting it bounce at the 40, and watches that go out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A 43-yard punt, and there is no return. Coming up, CFL Live at the half with Rod Smith, Chuck Climbing, Milt Stiegel, and Chris Schultz. They'll talk about a wild game last night. Ottawa making its CFL debut and the return of football to the national capital.
Looks so good early.
What a game in Winnipeg.
Oh, my goodness. And a couple thousand more folks there at that stadium than were there last week, and I guarantee it, next home game, it's going to be packed, because they're on a roll there. Some kind of momentum starting there in Winnipeg already, but I'm really proud of the Red Blacks, the way they competed. I sure thought they had that game early on.
Now Glenn throws over the middle. The pass is incomplete as he was looking there for Corey Williams. And Tisdale was once again there in the coverage with help from Chip Cox. So if you missed it earlier, what happened with the BC Lions is they lost Thomas DeMarco in the expansion draft to Ottawa. Then they had the offseason shoulder surgery for Travis Lulay, and the realization that Lulay wouldn't be ready for the start of the season. Kevin Glenn was picked up in the expansion draft by Ottawa, but they signed Henry Burris. He asked out, and BC grabbed it. So the music stopped. Travis Lulay is the guy with no seat right now. And Kevin Glenn is sacked again, and John Bowman's in the middle of that. We'll see who gets credit for it. Bowman's got 3 sacks in the game already. That's one of his career high. It's a loss of 7.
More of the same, just twisting up front, because BC's gone to the big on big, folks. You know what that is. You're going to see a twist up front, and watch how it affects everybody. Inside, coming free. Oh, man. A lot of indecision going on up front, and a whole lot of twisting and stunting going on by the Alouettes, and they're getting home to Kevin Glenn.
And John Bowman's having himself a night with 4 sacks in the game already. The franchise record is 5 by Alfred Payton, or the all-time best. Taylor takes the ball at his 28-yard line. Reverses again, and that time he's brought down by the long snapper for BC, Jordan Matijuk. So 49 seconds remaining here in the first half. Now the Alouettes will take over just outside their own 30-yard line.
Place things close to your vest here. I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth, because I wouldn't do that.
You would never. I was going to say, you would never do that.
No, I'd pump it down the field a couple times.
You were the guy when the coach would say, just run out the clock in the first half, you'd glare at the sideline.
I wouldn't even look at the sideline. Pump it down the field. Take a shot.
Well, Smith throws the flat to London, and Brandon London, who was not in the lineup last week for the Montreal Alouettes, dives ahead for a first down to the 43-yard line. London was disappointed with the decision that he wasn't in the starting 44 for Montreal, but he went on the trip with the team, and now he's back in this week with Ron Carter injured.
Well, it's just a matter of going out there and doing what you're asked to do. Last year was a tough year on him. Didn't produce when he had the opportunity.
And now Smith is throwing it. Has a man, S.J. Green. What a catch! What a catch by S.J. Green inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line. The first catch of the game for S.J. Green is a dandy for a 38-yard gain.
Thank you. Knife it down the field. Wait for it to say the human highlight reel is alive. Look at this.
Oh, it's not a catch. It's not a catch.
Uh-oh. Daggum.
Now hang on.
Uh-oh.
BC hasn't challenged yet. And the play continues.
Oh, good on them.
So now Troy Smith flushed out of the pocket. And Smith will dive at the 20. Now Benavides is claiming he did throw the challenge flag. He had it out. Kahari Jones was screaming to Benavides on the sidelines, throw the challenge, but the officials didn't see it.
So does this go on the highlight reel, even though it was
now Prue is going,
catch, but it was counted as a catch?
Now Prue is talking to Benavides on the sidelines and saying you didn't challenge in time.
Well, what could go wrong for the BC Lions in the first half has gone wrong, and it continues here in the closing moments.
23 seconds to go in the first half. And second and short for the Alouettes. And Smith looks up high. The pass is caught by Chad Johnson. Complete down to the 12-yard line. The line was saying that's no catch, but Johnson for now has his first of the game for a gain of 7.
Here's another look at it.
And Benavides has the flag in his hand again. And they're going to rule this as incomplete, which is the correct call. So it's going to be third and short for the Alouettes with 17.9 seconds left. So you've got time to sneak it if you want. Get the first down, take a shot at the end zone. At least one, maybe two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is pretty simple. It seems to be confusion.
Rampant confusion on the Alouette sideline. The field goal unit's on.
Higgins is sending.
And they took the field goal unit on and off, and now it's on again. And so White will try a field goal from 26 yards out. As we said, there's 17.9 left.
Wow. I hope this doesn't come back and haunt them. They got plenty of time for 3 plays.
And White puts it up and through, so it's a 20-point lead for the Alouettes. You think about the break on the S.J. Green catch, it shouldn't have counted.
Yep. So they're fortunate there for 3 on the board. They're taken, right? Because they feel like they got lucky there. That call wasn't overturned, but certainly an opportunity to run 3 plays in that amount of time there with a little over 17 seconds to go on the clock.
So there's another look at the Green catch, which looks so spectacular, but was trapped off the turf. The new field turf here, by the way, in Montreal.
Sticky Stala holding it, putting it down for Sean White.
So Benavides is saying, I threw the flag, but Prue is saying, we didn't see it.
Water on the bridge, he can't control that now. Benavides looks like he kept his emotions in check and he's moving forward. Got to regroup his team at halftime because right now everything's going Montreal's way, stunting the heck out of an offensive line that's kind of wet behind the ears and creating a lot of breaks defensively.
Well, you think about the BC Lions, and they had the injury last week along the offensive line to Andre Ramsey, who's got a broken bone in his foot.
Yeah, he's on the 6th game now.
He had Ben Archibald retire. He had Patrick Kabongo retire. So it was going to be a new-look offensive line anyway for the Lions.
Yeah. And
you got Travis Lulay on the 6-game injured list as well.
Talking to Dan DeRazio, longtime offensive line coach for the BC Lions. Yesterday, he says we're going to try to simplify things for our offensive line. Not Kevin Glenn, but for the offensive line. There's Dan DeRazio there. And he says we're going to go big on big. He said, I think we have 2 running plays in the package. So when problems like that occur up front, your package gets pared down in a hurry.
Here's Logan from the 20-yard line on the squib kick. And Logan brought down by Chris Wilson, the former Lion, with 7 seconds to go here in the opening half. Now, are you going up the field again, Matt?
Hey, same quarterback, same mentality. Heck yeah, I'm going upfield. Why not?
Under what circumstances would you not go up the field?
There is not a circumstance. Ask Glenn Suter. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to knife it down the field and make you like it.
At the 5-yard line in Regina, wind in your face and raining.
Well, I may have to check it down.
Okay.
I still got to play and give me an opportunity to go deep.
Just in case.
That's that Jackie Parker. May he rest in peace mentality coming out in me. Spaghetti legs.
Andrew Harris on the carry.
Throwing caution to win. Yeah, Andrew Harris, you know, he's been non-existent. Of course, when you don't have the football and turnovers are happening for you like the BC Lions had in this first half, you know, not many people's names getting called out.
One of the problems of the Lions, think about last week, they had 15 possessions. 5 of them were turnovers, and they went 2 and out another 8 times.
Benavides will argue that point, too, because he thinks it's 9. 9 2 and outs.
Harris runs into Cox, another tackle for Chip Cox. And that'll do it for the opening half of play. It's all Montreal Alouettes in their home opener. A 20-0 lead on the BC Lions. Coming up, Rod Smith, this is Paul LaPolice in the studio.
All right, Gordon.
It's Friday.
Well, it's a beautiful night in Montreal and a great night for the home team as the Alouettes have a 20-0 lead on the BC Lions. The first time in 3 years that the BC Lions have been held pointless in a half of football. You go back to October of 2011. Now, Kevin Glenn is on the sidelines with a helmet on for BC. So too was John Beck, the backup quarterback for the Lions, who has not yet thrown a pass in the CFL. He spent 6 seasons in the National Football League with 4 different teams. Originally a second-round pick of the Miami Dolphins out of BYU. So as we mentioned, neither backup quarterback, the 32-year-old John Beck or the 23-year-old Travis Partridge, has thrown a pass in the league.
That's why it was imperative for the Lions to go get Kevin Glenn, but they are just 1 play away from that reality.
White with the kickoff to Logan from the 16-yard line, and Stephon Logan finds a seam, gets up to the 32-yard line, where he was tripped up on the play by the Alouettes' Martin Bedard. So Kevin Glenn is 4 of 10 passing for 48 yards. An interception was returned for a touchdown. Andrew Harris has been very little factor in the game, and Ernest Jackson, both carrying and catching the football, has been the busiest BC Lion.
That's just a complete flip from last week. You know, you think you could be looking at Montreal stats there in the first half. BC's going through it right now, just completely not on the same page.
Direct snap to Stephon Logan. Gets around the left side. Kyrie Zebair there to make the stop after a gain of 6.
Just take the quarterback out of the equation completely and direct snap to Stephon Logan, see if he can't kickstart the offense. But the big-on-big situation is a big story in the first half, and certainly Noel Thorpe is a wily enough defensive coordinator to understand that stunts up front will really disrupt any type of continuity they'll have up front with that young group on the left side.
And now Logan on the second down carry. And again gets tripped up quickly on the play. This time the Alouettes' Gabriel Knapton got a hand on him. Noel Thorpe, the defensive coordinator, looks on. It's 3rd and long, but the Lions will be forced to punt. Doesn't get easier for the BC Lions next week. They're in Saskatchewan to take on the Rough Riders. They got Montreal back at home in 2 weeks' time.
Winnipeg comes here.
Great kick by Schmidt. Hems Taylor inside the 15-yard line, and the coverage team takes over as Iraqi pushes him out of bounds, and a flag comes down at the end of the play. So what would have been great field position in terms of defensively for the BC Lions, maybe coming back somewhat, a 53-yard punt by Ricky Schmidt, but we may have a penalty here in the coverage teams. Jamal Johnson was also down there.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. BC number 28. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. First down.
Jamal Johnson, veteran player, just doing the inexplicable. Come on.
This has not been the kind of bounce-back night that Mike Benavides and the BC Lions were looking for. Here's John Liu with more.
Thank you, Gord. Yeah, and as you can imagine, Mike Benavides was not happy with that unnecessary roughness penalty at the conclusion of that kickoff. As his special teams unit players were coming off the field, he yelled at them at least 5-6 times, let's play smart, having the team in general having given up 10 points off turnovers earlier in the game. Guys?
Here's Brandon Whitaker on the first down carry, and Whitaker out to the 36-yard line for a gain of 8. It has been a much better week 2 for the Alouettes than week 1 when they got pushed around by the Calgary Stampeders. Troy Smith was under 50% last week. He's 10 of 18 tonight. Brandon Whitaker's got 9 touches total between receiving and rushing yards. And also producing a lot is Kenny Stafford.
Yeah, Whitaker had 9 touches, remember, in last week's first half, and then went MIA in the second half with only 3 touches. Keep feeding that guy the football.
Well, look out. Whitaker went one way, Smith went the other, and then Saul Alouettes got involved, and, well, things just went downhill from there.
That is an ugly feeling as a quarterback. You turn around and nobody's there, and it's like instinct. It's like, you just, boy, you just got to. He does the right thing. You're up, not there. He gets what he can. That's just tough. Right? Been there, done that. I had a good feeling. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
So now it's third and less than a yard. On comes Tanner Marsh again in the short yardage unit.
Why not? Tanner's going to be the leading rusher.
Well, he had a 41-yard gain in one of these earlier.
There he goes.
Around the corner, because he lost the football.
No.
And Saul Alouettes has it. And the BC Lions with a huge turnover here early in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's the break you want. That's the break you're looking for. You create it, cause the fumble. Okay, that's change the field position. Now you got to capitalize here. Get some momentum going. This is designed. Whitaker and Stephen Lambala out front, creating an opportunity. Ronnie Yell coming in there, knifing in there, putting his helmet, running the football. Boink, comes out. Ronnie Yell was on the practice roster last year, earning him a starting spot to the field side corner.
Here's a chance now for Lions to get back in the game. Glenn throws, and the pass skips in front of the intended target. He's looking for Courtney Taylor, and it falls incomplete. Lions shut out in the first half of a football game for the first time since October of 2010.
And Glenn takes one right in the chops there too as he delivers that football. And you know, those are the you don't talk about those hits, but they add up in a football game. He took a hard hit there. That's why he didn't have enough on it to get it to the field side out.
Second down from the 40-yard line. And now a flag comes down before the snap. Count the Lions.
Time down violation. BC number 2. This is a 5-yard penalty.
And that's not noise related like it was last week in Winnipeg when we were there for the season opener. That stadium rocks, and they continue to have success there. It could be difficult for teams coming in there and playing, period. Gary Etchway's got that defense going, but that was all on BC Lions just not having the play call properly, and Glenn took the 5 yards.
Now it's 2nd and 15. Here comes the rush. Glenn throws, and the pass is caught. What a grab by Ernest Jackson down to the 15-yard line. A huge reception on a great throw by Kevin Glenn. The gain is 29 yards.
This is the difference between a team that's behind and a team that's playing ahead. 2nd and long, 2nd and 15, Gord, like you said, you got to push the envelope and force the football down there. And boy, Ernest Jackson goes up tall and gets a ball, and a big, huge conversion for a first down for the BC Lions. Much needed deep into Alouettes territory.
Mark O'Briette really putting the stick on him. From the 16-yard line, Andrew Harris gets wrapped up right away. As jumping in there to make the stop for the Alouettes was Gabriel Mapton. John Bowman in there as well. Bowman, by the way, with 4 sacks in the first half, is one off the CFL record for the most sacks in the game. 5. It's shared by 10 different players, including Alfred Payton.
Swag. Alfred Swag Payton. Tell you what, Bowman's having him a night to remember. I think he's got an opportunity to tie it and break it.
Now Glenn under pressure. Here comes the rush again. He throws back across his body, and the pass is incomplete. Almost picked off by Kyrie Zeber in the end zone.
Bowman was pressuring, and he looks like he got held, in my opinion. Right here at the top of the line, one-on-one with the guy in question, guy in the hot seat, Ryan Cave.
And Andrew Harris is the man who wound up having to block him.
That's not a good matchup. Andy says, nah, I don't like this series.
So Paul McCallum comes on. He's made 17 of his last 18 going back to last year. Here's a try from the 24-yard line to get the Lions on the board. And McCallum puts it up and through. Took better than 35 minutes, but the Lions have their first points, down by 17 in Montreal.
Okay. There's Ryan Cave, 2 practices in Lions uniform. He's thrown into the Lions den, so to speak, and boy, he's having a tough go. They're trying to simplify it for him, putting big on big. Sometimes you get a hat on a guy, and sometimes he's just flat out whipping. He was in a Montreal uniform during training camp. Now he's in a Lions uniform. Montreal knows all about Ryan Cave's capabilities, and they're trying to exploit it, doing it in a big way with veteran Jonathan Bowman having a field day on the young tackle, trying to find his way.
Larry Taylor fields the kickoff at the 3-yard line, and Taylor bounces outside, gets up to the 24. Brought down by S.J. Hedero, the special teams tackle for the BC Lions. And so the Alouettes, with the lead, they'll start with the football at their own, call it the 23.
Yeah, it may not seem like a critical part of the football game, but right now it's important for Troy Smith and his offensive unit to change field position here. Stop the momentum that the Lions got from the turnover from Tanner Marsh on the quarterback sneak. Put together a sustained drive of some sort and kind of stymie the bleeding right now, because you don't want BC to gain any momentum.
And on first down, the pass is batted down by the BC defense.
That's Court Parks coming in off the edge from the short side, and he gets his hands up. You'll see it flash right here. He comes right off the edge.
It's actually, I think, David Menard. It was Menard at the end spot.
Bringing pressure. BC knows, you know, it's just kind of offensively. 2nd and long, you're pushing it down the field. Defensively, you're taking risks, being more aggressive. That's what we're seeing right now by a Mark Washington defense.
Menard, a native of Chicoutimi, Quebec, played it at the University of Montreal. And now Smith is under pressure, gets away from the rush of Menard, and then gets tracked down from behind. And Kareem Smith finally kind of leg wrestled him down. And so the Lions defense stands tall, and the Alouettes will be forced to punt.
Yeah, this is the pit look right in a quarterback, and they're dropping everybody, just rushing 3. And they get to him, force him out of the pocket. Kareem Smith is on his horse. He eventually takes him down, a little help with Solomon Elamimian, but you put him in 2nd and long and then play everything underneath, drop 9, and good things happen for your big boys up front.
And now White with a high kick taken by Logan back at the 40-yard line. Stephon Logan looking to spark the Lions, gets close to midfield. And that's where they'll take over after a 45-yard punt and a 13-yard return.
Yeah, well, we may have jinxed Tanner Marsh, you know, because we're talking about the success they've had in these situations. He goes on another quarterback sneak a couple series ago, fumbles the football, That leads to 3 points for the Lions. And then here, they go away from the short yardage situation with a backup quarterback completely, take the ball off the line of scrimmage, give it to Whitaker, and have no success. I'm wondering if Tanner Marsh actually hurt his hand on that last carry and fumble.
Now Glenn throws, and the pass complete on the far side to Courtney Taylor, and Taylor pushed out of bounds at the 42-yard line for a gain of 7. So lots of time for the Lions here, down by 17 with 3.5 to go in the third quarter, but they have not been able to sustain drives so far in the football game.
No, and they need that big play, because the CFL, that's what it's made of, is big play, and they need to create that offensively. Defenses come up with a couple of their own. They need to do it on offense now.
Second and short, and Logan gets brought down right away as he's dragged down from behind by Michael Klassen.
It almost looked like horse collar, the way he went down.
BC's longest drive of the game is 8 plays. And this drive is 2 and out for the Lions.
No, he just got him by the back of the shirt underneath the 1 and the 0.
Schmidt, another great punt, hangs that high in the air. Taylor back at the 20-yard line. And he gets nowhere as Jason Araki's back to make another special team stop for the BC Lions. Well, the sack tally brought to you once again this year by Purolator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check. Montreal has 5 on the season, 4 tonight, all by John Bowman.
Bowman's personally taking the sack attack into his own hands, going to crank it up a bit and help a lot of people out there putting some food on the table.
He's got as many sacks tonight as the Lions have so far this season.
And timely, too. This football team needed this type of performance, but they got to do, like I said before, they need to sustain some type of drive and swap field position here, because BC Lions are getting really close.
On first down, the play fake to Brandon Whitaker. Smith is up and throwing, and S.J. Green can't hang on as the coverage was provided by Josh Johnson. There were lots of cannon arm quarterbacks in the league, Matt, over the years.
Yeah.
But 2 of the all-time greats didn't have great arms. Doug Flutie didn't throw the ball a long way.
Oh, don't tell him that.
And Anthony Calvillo had a lot of strengths, but
Ken Austin is another one, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Clemens is another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Hall of Famers here in Clemens. And boy, he just spotted the ball. He threw receivers open. It was a beautiful thing to watch. He was so smart with going to the football and reading defenses.
Now Smith up and throwing.
Tom Wilkinson from Edmonton. Wilkie will play the old, I'm slow and I'm not fast and I don't have a strong arm. And I say to that, because I've watched video on that guy or film back when he was playing.
Black and white film.
Yeah, 16 millimeter, I think, too. And I can tell you, Wilkie can make every throw on the field. But, I mean, all different ways to get her done out there. And we've got 2 strong-arm quarterbacks out there. One definitely stronger than the other.
White gets a low tumbling kick away that bounces down around the 45-yard line. And whoops. Montreal's Michael Carter, apparently unaware of the no yards rule, was diving ahead for the football. So Kevin Glenn has done one of the great unappreciated careers in the Canadian Football League. He's 10th all-time in CFL passing yards, not far behind Tracy Ham and Doug Flutie, who both had tremendous careers, but Matt Dunnigan remains almost 4,000 yards ahead.
Yeah, but he's coming. He's coming. I mean, he's going. I mean, you're looking at Hall of Famers there. And he's going. And you said it well. He hasn't gotten the respect that I think he deserves, but I think he's really earned that over the last couple seasons, particularly what happened in Calgary.
It's going to be first down BC.
And he's shown you his mettle. He continues to be a survivor, and he's a leader. He's got the guy just gets it done. I think the biggest knock on him right now is he hasn't won the Grey Cup.
Right.
And that's always a benchmark for a quarterback or starter.
It's also a team achievement.
Those numbers don't lie. But you also have to lead that team, and he's become a great leader over the last several years.
Just a point of order, ladies and gentlemen, that Matt Dunnigan yesterday walking on the field at midfield, looked to the corner and said to me, I could make that throw right now.
I can. I just can't run.
First down, Lions. Glenn under pressure.
Shoot it to him.
Gets away and throws, and the pass is complete as he finds Corey Williams inside Montreal territory and down to the 47-yard line.
It's a perfect example of a different type of throw that Kevin Glenn makes here. Watch him. He scrambles, moves up, moves to his left, and then he just kind of darts it. Watch him. Watch the short releaser. Doink. He just darts it out there, and that's what you bring to the table. You know, it's not always a strong arm and a ball that you have to put a lot of zip on. You can spot it in there. You can dart it in there. You can drop your elbow down and throw sidearm. You got to have a number of different deliveries. Kevin Glenn's got that.
Now, we got an injured official. Adam Paradowski is down. He was inadvertently hit by Kyrie's Hebert coming across. Paradowski is the umpire, the official who stands in the defensive backfield, and
that's a dangerous zone.
That's a dangerous place to be. He's not looking. Hebert's not looking.
Oh, well, that's a tough blow. I mean, Kyrie's Hebert brings a heavy hat, and boy, he has no idea he's there. That's like getting run over by a truck.
Paradowski is up.
That's a heavy blow right there. If you're not used to it, it compounds it even more. You're not expecting it.
One guy's wearing equipment, the other guy's not.
Yeah, you're not expecting it. Well, you know, and that's an issue. Yeah, I mean, could we see these guys, you know, padding up or getting some type of headgear going sometimes? That happens quite often.
So the working official short for now as Paradowski goes into the Montreal locker room for some attention.
And this is something the officials are very well groomed in doing, going from a 7-man team to a 6-man team.
So now Glenn on first down, swings it out, but the pass is incomplete to Andrew Harris. Brings up second down now for the Lions. 53 seconds to go in the third quarter. There is no wind to speak of tonight, so there'll be no advantage to either side in the fourth quarter. Now it's second and long for BC at the Montreal 47.
Got to push the envelope here. This is when it gets risky. It's like you're 6 down in the last round. You got to start shooting for the pins.
Look out, here comes the rush. Glenn gets away for now. Got a ways to go, and Kevin Glenn puts his head down, crosses the 40, and gets very close to a BC Lions first down.
He drew some attention in a hurry.
There were 3 Montreal Alouettes in the backfield at the snap.
You can almost hear him going, rah, rah, rah. They're just the hungry rabid dogs going after Kevin Glenn. Pack of wolves. Jeff Tisdale actually takes the brunt of that. He was going to kind of ease up on him as Glenn looks like he's going down. Then he kind of takes one right on the knee.
Bowman beat his man too cleanly.
Having a heck of a night.
31-year-old out of Brooklyn, New York. And they're going to mark Glenn about 6 inches short of a Lions first down.
Yeah, Mike Benavides is asking the official, Andre Proulx, to change the clock, and he's not getting any love from Benavides. Or from Andre. Andre's playing on. Benny can't get any cooperation over there on the sideline.
So Travis Partridge comes on with a short yardage team for BC on 3rd and inches. Long count flag comes down as Partridge dives ahead. Travis Partridge, a first-year man for the Lions, a 23-year-old out of Missouri Western.
Yeah, it's Division II school. Had a phenomenal career there. I talked to him yesterday, asked him what his strengths were. He didn't want to comment and give me the answer right away, but I got it out of him. He says, well, I got a cannon for an arm. He says, and I can run. And I was,
97.
I was like,
penalty. First down.
Look at you go. Yeah, I like it. You know, you got to. I mean, I asked him a question. He gave me the answer finally, went a little prodding, and I loved it. I love the answer. The kid's got a lot of confidence.
First down, Lions now at the Montreal 32-yard line. Should be the final play of the third quarter. And Lots of early movement there as there are 4 flags. Okay, everyone saw it.
Everybody emptied their pockets.
Procedure, BC 63, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Jovan Olafoye, the veteran on the right side, goes offside for BC. So now it's 1st and 15.
Yeah, you know, big man, give him some props. 2012 Offensive Lineman of the Year. Just don't want to put the camera on him when something goes wrong. The guy's a heck of a ball player. You're just a little concentrating on what's going on the left side right now.
Now Glenn throws underneath. Jackson makes the catch, and Jackson gets down to the Montreal 27-yard line. He'll be about 5 yards short of a BC first down. So the third quarter comes to an end. Last year, the Alouettes staged a stirring fourth quarter comeback. Do the Lions have that up their sleeve tonight? Wendy's Friday Night Football returns to Montreal in just a moment. Back here in Montreal, the numbers after 3 quarters of play. The Alouettes still have the edge in total yards. The turnovers, again, are a story here. 3 by the Lions, 2 by the Alouettes. One of those turnovers, an interception for a touchdown. And this has been a game, Matt, really, in which the BC Lions defense is giving the team a chance to win the game.
Yeah, and that's really evident in the third quarter, Gord, as they really stepped up the plate, created a turnover, put the first 3 points on the board basically for the Lions because the offense hasn't done anything. Only 37 yards in the third quarter total for the Lions offense, and that's just not going to cut it when you're trying to fight back from the big deficit.
You know, both these teams last year lost their starting quarterbacks midway through the season, and both had very good defensive years. The Alouettes allowed the fewest total yards in the league last year. BC was second.
Yeah, and you know, you figured this was what it was going to be like, you know, but the turnovers in the field position for Montreal early in the ball game was what gave them some points and the opportunity to have this lead. But now it's just settled down to what we expected, a defensive battle.
Lions open the fourth quarter with the football on second down. Glenn throws, the pass is caught as Courtney Taylor makes a first down reception for 14 yards all the way down to the Montreal 14-yard line. So here's a chance for the Lions now to pull still closer.
Yeah, and that's a veteran quarterback sticking it in there in zone coverage. Watch him. He reads the zone, goes through his progressions, comes back inside and puts some mustard on that ball right in front of Aaron Laverius. Moves the chains. Kevin Glenn must have heard us talking about his arm strength, and he says, I got some.
First down Lions at the Montreal 14. And the first down carry goes to Andrew Harris, who gets bounced outside for the moment and then pushed out by Jeff Tisdale. Marco Briette got up to make the initial pressure. It's a gain of 3 on the play, brings up 2nd and 7.
Now, Noel Thorpe's defense, they stacked the line of scrimmage and put everybody up on the line as anticipating the ball going to Harris, probably based on formation, and they just strung it to the outside, and Harris did a nice job just picking up 3 on that play because Montreal had that red.
On second down, Glenn looks to the end zone. The pass is intercepted by Briette. Taylor was the intended target, and Marco Briette picks it off in the end zone. So the Lions drive the football down the field, but as it did last week, an interception crushes the Lions, this time in the end zone. Marco Briette with the interception. That's 4 turnovers by the Lions in the football game.
Absolutely. Watch what happens here. You're going to have Gabriel Knapp coming around here on the stunt that we've seen all night, and then the pocket's going to be collapsed by none other than John Bowman. Watch, there's the stunt. Bowman collapses. Glenn can't step into the throw. Marco Briette gets the interception. All the big boys are cool one after the ball game because they helped you out there.
What a juggling catch there by Brandon Whitaker, who goes out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Here's Bowman collapsing the pocket, and it's a nice job as he's having a heck of a night. Sometimes, you know, you get to be the guy side watching. Just a collapse, get underneath, pressure. Glenn can't step up. Ball sails. Marco Briette gets his interception.
Now we had a flag come down at the end of that play long after it was open. Alex Bazzi was in a shoving match with one of the Alouettes.
After the play, objectionable conduct, BC number 53, 10-yard penalty.
That's Bazzi, objectionable conduct. Automatic first down for the Lions.
Oh, yeah. Just looking at it in the monitor, Gord, and yeah, that's pretty good contact going on away from the ball. We'll show it to you shortly.
And here's Whitaker on the first down carry, busting into the BC defense and brought down at the 49-yard line. So the Alouettes are up and moving thanks in part to that penalty.
And here's the two that are going to get into it, right here and right here. And watch this blow that, right there, comes underneath with a little flipper under Bazzi's face, and Bazzi doesn't like it at all, so he takes exception to that. Well, that was a clear blow thrown.
Now Bazzi,
SJ's still coming at him, gets in his face and taunts him. Well, I don't know what instigated that, but there's some bad blood brewing there.
So a first down now for the Alouettes at the 49-yard line. There's an injured Montreal Alouette on the play.
You see that flipper underneath? Ooh.
And Brandon Whitaker and S.J. Green are both shaken up.
Yeah, Whitaker cut back on the play into S.J. S.J. wasn't expecting it, and then he all of a sudden got involved in the contact on the attempted tackle on Whitaker, and I think he caught him off guard, and actually looks like he hurt himself. Watch Whitaker. He busts through the hole, big old hole, cuts left, and then S.J.'s right in the mix, and he gets hit, and it looks like he's holding his right arm. You do not want to see this. Two of your key offensive players going down in the same play.
Whitaker's got 11 carries for 70 yards tonight.
Well, next up, we're going to see Stephen Labata. Whitaker's got to go out of the ball game. Stephen Labata, second-year man from Calgary. He's been going at it with his brother Raleigh on special teams the entire second half and first half. A lot of fun to watch those guys go at it, Gordon.
The unfortunate coincidence that last year Stephen Labata was injured on a special teams play, blocking his brother. He broke his hand on his helmet.
Yeah, just carrying out the responsibilities, and oftentimes they're lined up on each other, but Stephen Lambala is going to get a chance to show his mettle, see what he's made of. I tell you, he was fun to watch in a Dinos uniform. Well, God made people miss and just looked unstoppable, has great balance, got a great spin move. There's his brother Raleigh, been in the business for much longer, much bigger build. I mean, night and day difference. Raleigh, I'm thinking, goes about 255. Steven goes probably about 195. We know who's getting to the table first in that family.
Older brother ate first.
Yeah, he did.
You get the scraps.
Yeah, he did.
So first down now for the Alouettes at the Lions' 49-yard line. So Whitaker and Green talking it over.
Yeah, it looks like they're both okay, which is good news for the Alouettes.
And Lambella in a tailback, takes the handoff from Smith and gets stacked up right away by Eric Taylor.
Yeah, that's like a running into fire hydrant right there. Eric Taylor, phenomenal interior lineman for the Lions. Big boy, not really tall, like 6'2", goes about 315, 320. Just a fire plug in the middle. You hit him, you're not going anywhere.
So with Taylor and Khalif Mitchell, the Lions think that they have a pretty good interior line to start the year.
And Jabari Westerman, too. Great rotation.
Now on second and long, Smith looks and throws. London's got the catch, a first down and more. Inside the 30 and down to the BC 28-yard line for Brandon London, a gain of 20 yards.
Nice offensive bat, right play call. They anticipated blitz, had a quick slant to the short side. And Lambala steps up to the plate and gives his quarterback an opportunity. Watch Lambala step up and go to war here at the line of scrimmage, picking up the blitz. Nice job on Big Hill coming across the formation. Stephen Lambala reads it. Well executed play by the Alouettes offense.
from the 28. They swing it out for Lumbala, but that's wrapped up right away as Sal Elimimian comes in to finish it off. And Elimimian's been a tower of power once again for the BC Lions in the middle of that defense.
Started off the season well last week in a loss. Had 5 tackles last week. He's just a it's fun to have him back in the league. You're watching he and Big Hill go at it. You throw in the first-year player, Josh Johnson from Purdue. Like I said earlier, took Corey Banks' position basically, and linebackers are set for the BC Lions.
17-point Alouette lead, and this drive continues. Smith throws for London, makes the diving catch, but marked down at the 23-yard line to be well short of an Alouettes first down, although that'll get him closer in field goal range for Sean White.
That's one that this quarterback would like back, because you got to spot that better, give your receiver a chance to run with the football. Brendan London was open, made a tough catch because the ball was not spotted very well, not very accurate throw. And I tell you, that's one of those things, the quarterback, you go back and watch the video the next day, you go, hey, gummit, I got to be better than that.
So a 31-yard try now for Sean White to restore the 20-point lead for the Alouettes. Foul the hold, and the kick is wide to the right. Logan wants to bring it out, but gets tackled in the end zone. So White with the miss, and the Ls get one. Sal Elimimian trying to keep BC in it. The Lions are down by 18 here in the fourth quarter. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Off in the distance, you can see the Olympic Stadium where the Alouettes have their practice facility and locker room during the week, and they move here for the games during the regular season. One of the great venues in the CFL, a real jewel.
Absolutely gorgeous night for it too. And you just kind of roll on down to the city after the ball game.
Kevin Glenn with a slide across the 40-yard line, a couple of yards short of a BC first down.
You know, talking to Tom Higgins yesterday, he tried to explain to us some of the difficulties that they have.
Right.
In the preparation from week to week and day to day. They lose basically an hour every day just because they have to travel
to their practice field.
Because
their practice field right now is not available. They're practicing on a soccer field, so no line, so no point of reference. What's an 8-yard out?
Absolutely. They certainly didn't know that week 1. Week 2, they got it figured out.
The good news is, if you get a penalty in the box, it's a penalty kick, so that's good.
Oh, no.
See, that was a soccer reference,
You
Matt.
incorporated soccer into the football program.
Well, a little football.
I understand. It's big time in the soccer world out there.
And just getting bigger.
Oh, it is amazing stuff. I love to see all the flags out there, people supporting their own country, their own teams.
Lions from their 50-yard line. Glenn under pressure throws it back for Harris. He's got a block and some room to run. Flag comes down as Harris dives out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Might have been an illegal block by the Lions at the end of that play.
Ernest Jackson. Yep, gonna get flagged. Well-designed play, well executed.
4 yards were gained. Illegal block. BC number 8. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Oh, Corey Williams.
By the way, we're happy to report to you that Adam Paradowski, the umpire who was injured earlier, is back in the game. Just put the football down. And so he is back after the collision with Kyrie Zebair. Good to see.
Absolutely. And here's that. That's tough.
Well, it's a tough turnaround. Instead of a first down in Montreal territory, they're back up to their own 40. Glenn with a pass to Courtney Taylor.
Nice
and Taylor
shake.
brought down by Kyrie Zebair.
Nice little shake after that catch. Didn't waste any time doing it either. Showed you a little joke, a little movement. Able to pick up 10. High percentage throw, dump it down. They're playing deep. Kevin Glenn just gives it to him, sits in the soft spot, boop, makes a nice move. Gets what he can. I need 11 here.
They got to pick up 9. Still got to make up the rest of the penalty at their own 49-yard line. And time running out. Bland under pressure gets away and throws incomplete. He was trying to find Logan, and guess who was in the backfield again? John Bowman was one of them.
And Angry Bird, Kyrie Zabear was back there too. Forcing Glenn to step up in the pocket. Second and long situation. Zone blitzed. Got people up in the line, watch him drop back. Whoop, there goes one. There goes Aaron Laverius. So you want to be a quarterback.
Yeah. Schmidt high in the air, taken by Taylor inside the 20-yard line, and Larry Taylor goes nowhere as once again a special team stop made by Iraqi. So Smith and the Alouettes go back to work with an 18-point lead here in the fourth quarter on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Coming up in Friday Night Football, part 2 of our doubleheader from Edmonton. Odell Willis either taking a selfie or taking a shot at the cameraman, taking a shot at him. Either way, getting set for the Tiger Cats. That is right after the Lions and Alouettes are done as we head back to Gordon. Matty, guys.
Thank you, Rod. The Alouettes begin first down just inside their own 20-yard line, looking to win their home opener. As the give goes to Brandon Whitaker. And he picks up about 5 yards on the carry, marking as a gain of 4. So the Alouettes next week will have Winnipeg here. Alouettes play 4 of their first 6 at home. And for the BC Lions, it just gets tougher as they're in Saskatchewan next week. Then they got the Alouettes at home the week after.
Well, they're going to be answering some questions after this football game. Trying to figure out answers offensively. Took a play out of Montreal offensive playbook from last week. Not producing very well at all.
Second down. Smith goes. He's got nothing but open field in front of him, and Smith dives down to the 45-yard line. More than enough for a first down, a 22-yard gain for Troy Smith.
Yeah, it's like the perfect storm. Everybody just kind of leaves the middle. You see Aluminium in man coverage. He knows what he sees. Everybody's on outcuts, taking defenders away from the eyes of the quarterback, gut in the middle of the defense where everybody's left from. He breaks that initial contain or push up the middle, and he's into the secondary and slides when he wants to.
5 carries for 55 yards for Smith. I was going to say he has nothing but green grass in front of him. Of course, that's a thing of the past.
That's a great feeling, though. You get that, you have that play call, and you're sneaking your way down the field as long as possible, in hopes that nobody will see you. And then when it's
even
like,
though you have the ball.
Oh, hell. And you go as far as you can. It's great when it unfolds that way. It's a good feeling for the young quarterback, having a much better game second week of the season than he did first week one.
Brandon Whitaker having a much better night tonight. You see Ryan Dinwiddie. What a situation he got thrown into in training camp when offensive coordinator Rick Warman was let go.
Yeah, I didn't get much love yesterday when we walked in there for coaches meetings, and the coaches just coming off the field. And
as a completion, S.J. Green for their first down of the 44-yard line. Now some more pushing and shoving breaks out. Here's Green into it with J.R. LaRose, among others. But S.J. Green has the catch, the man who led the CFL in touchdown receptions a year ago, and a little more showboating by Green on the first down.
Yeah, we just kind of got the cold shoulder a bit from the coaching staff when they walked in. You know, not a whole lot of handshaking going on. They were very concentrated, let's put it that way, about their game plan and what needed to be done today.
There's a ton of pressure here. There's no question. There's a ton of pressure here in Montreal. And that week one performance didn't do much to take it off. But much better tonight. And now on first down, Whitaker goes back to work and dives into the 40-yard line for a pickup of 4.
Adam Bighill's tied up with one of the big boys. That'll be fun to watch.
Whitaker, 12 carries tonight for 84 yards.
Yeah. He was tied up with Jeff Parrott. I don't know if I want to pick that fight. According to the coaches, Jeff Parritt's the best offensive lineman Montreal has. Hard to believe, huh? Yeah. Yeah, because you got Bork.
Yeah.
You got
Smith wanted to go up the field. Now he bounces off a hit, still looking. All day to Charlie, slings it way down the field. And the pass is incomplete. S.J. Green came down with the ball, but he was out of bounds.
Sorry, Gord. I was just talking to the owner of the Alouettes, Bob Wettenhall.
Just walked in to say hi.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
21-3, the Alouettes lead. The 3-minute warning here in Montreal. Wendy's Friday Night Football returns after this. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Baconator. Wendy's, now that's better.
Unexpected visitor there.
Yeah.
Gord in the booth here. Bob Wettenhall, owner of Alouettes, and says,
Much happier this week than he was last, no doubt.
He says, much better this week, Matty. You're good at this. I said, I got Gord next to me. Makes me look good.
47-yard field goal try now by Sean White,
who has not been very good this year.
This one, however, is good.
Yes. He goes 3 of 6 on the season. Batting 500 now.
Well, you know, talking to Tom Higgins about that, and also to BCG of Wally Buono yesterday, you know, the CFL has expanded the game rosters from 42 to 44.
Okay.
So one added Canadian player, one added import player.
National and international.
One more national, one more international, if you use the modern parlance.
Yes.
So a lot of people think that the extra import, or the extra international spots, or rather American spot, would go to a kicker. But more like, well, the BC Lions have Ricky Schmidt.
Yeah,
right?
Well, I mean, that's fine. But however you want to deploy that extra player, that's your prerogative. But I would think that I'd try to find other areas to strengthen my football team.
Now Glenn throws underneath.
There it is.
And there's Raleigh Lumbala, who goes barreling over.
Yeah, good idea for Tisdale to go low on that one. He's not going to win that battle up high. He better go low and chop that big tree down. Catches the ball in the flat. You're going to scoot out to the left there. Check your responsibility. He drops, getting the flat. Then he goes and look at head hunting. And Tisdale goes low, which is a great idea. Fixes his helmet after he goes through that. And Lumbala trucks him.
Travis Lulay did not practice with the Lions this week on the 6-week injured list. Now Kevin Glenn is sacked. John Bowman didn't get him.
Nope.
He
Cash
was dropped
money.
by Alan Michael Cash.
Cash money. Aaron Laverius was there too. Middle of the line. Watch him get after it. Standing up. Another stunt. Take 2. Does Alan Michael Cash. Laverius comes around and helps him on the stunt up front. That's an unselfish play there. You got to take 2 with you to free up Aaron Laverius' lane to the quarterback. Well done by the Montreal defensive line.
5 sacks tonight by the Alouettes, and now Glenn's under pressure. John Bowman almost got him. Glenn gets it away. A flag comes down as the pass is caught by Ernest Jackson. He'll be well short of a first down, pending what the flag is about. John Bowman had the hand on Glenn for a moment that could have been.
Roughing the passer, Montreal number 11. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
So it's a first down for the Lions on the Cox penalty.
Bowman is doing everything he can to tie a record here. Almost got to Glenn. I'm sorry. The quarterback step up in the pocket. Looks like he's going to run. Chip Cox is hustling over, and he hits him right in the numbers, and the flag's thrown. I don't know. You know, it's 6 one way, half a dozen other. I used to get hit after a receiver caught the ball and they didn't throw a flag. I know times have changed, but that it's tough on a defender when he can't just play football. Like
now John Beck is in and slings one down the field. The pass is caught.
Oh, that came out.
Whoa. Corey Williams makes the catch, a 21-yard gain as John Beck completes his first CFL pass.
Yeah, it looked good too. Proverbial towel's been thrown in by Mike Benavides, and John Beck gets a crack at it. Cleanup duty here. Watch him throw his first pass here. Gets his eyes right, steps in the pocket, throws it with timing and accuracy. Nice little dig or crossing route there.
And meantime, corner Chris Smith got hurt. Who has the best arm you've ever seen in the CFL? Present company excluding yourself.
I'd say Dieter Brock.
Yeah. Henry Burris?
No, I said Dieter Brock.
Okay.
Yeah. You asked me.
I'm going to top you.
Okay. No.
Joe
no.
Pisarcik. He could.
Come on.
Joe Pisarcik had the best arm I've ever seen.
Come on.
The 70s, babe. The 70s.
Dieter played in the 70s?
The fabulous 70s, Matt.
The guy to the left over there in the booth, Joe Pow had a cannon, too.
Yeah. So Kyrie Bear.
Roy DeWalt had a gun.
Called for roughing the passer.
Want me to go on?
No, it's fine. I just,
Okay.
You ever see Joe Pisarcik play?
No. Not as old as you, Gord.
You're older than me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Joe Pisarcik. That's just a nasty name for a quarterback, by the way.
What's that?
Pisarcik.
He's a great. He was the guy.
That's like a defensive lineman.
Do you know what? You know what he's famous for? He's the guy that handed the ball off.
And the Super Bowl.
The miracle of the Meadowlands. When Herm Edwards,
Herm Edwards picked it up. It was taking the ball off the line of scrimmage instead of killing the clock.
Yeah.
He exchanged the handoff. Ball goes on the ground, and
Pisarcik was the quarterback.
Yeah, and Herm picks it up and takes it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Joe.
As you look at beautiful downtown Montreal, her mom is not her mom. Her life is not her life. Finding Carter, the 2-hour series premiere, Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on MTV. You'll be somewhere in that area tonight, won't you, in Montreal?
Where's that? No.
Like downtown?
No.
No?
We did that last night.
Oh. See, most people would go out after the game.
No. I'm only kidding. No, we're going to watch the second game, Gord. We're going back to the hotel, and we're watching the second game tonight.
Absolutely. They have it on in places other than the hotel, just so you know. Here's Beck now.
It'll be a good one, too.
First down for the 15-yard line for roughing passer penalty. And now Beck under pressure, and he is sacked. Brought down by Gabriel Napton. And there is the 6th sack of the night for the Alouettes.
This has to be expected. Just you can't ask these guys, these young players, to be that good and that successful against this type of defensive unit. Noel Thorpe game planned it well, stunned it all night, and caused havoc for the BC Lion quarterbacks, and took advantage of what was given to them, youth.
After this,
on
the goal line.
But another major foul called against the Alouettes. They didn't announce a number, so it's 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Now, you would say that Noel Thorpe is casually dressed as a coach, but Mike O'Shea in Winnipeg has taken that to a whole new level.
O'Shea.
Mike looks like he skateboarded to the game.
That's hilarious. I love it. He's a people's coach. I tell you.
He's a 2-0 coach.
If you don't like him, you will. He's hard not to like because he's so honest and
Here's
focused.
back to the end zone for Jackson. The pass is incomplete. 13 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter.
Ocean's a good one, man. I'm glad to see him have success out there. We were talking to Commissioner Mark Ohan, who's in the house tonight, and he says this has actually worked out really well, kind of like the outcome, not that he's cheering for anybody, but to look at it from the big picture. Winnipeg continues to win.
Ottawa played well.
Ottawa played really well out of the gate. Very encouraging. That was a win-win all around, and I think Mark concurred with that.
So now Beck throws against the coverage, and Andrew Harris is being watched by Hebert. Nothing doing there.
Sniff that out.
So the Alouettes are going to go to 1-1 on the year, and the Lions will drop to 0-2. Now, remember that Grey Cup year of 2011? They did start the year 0-5.
Yes, they did.
I wouldn't want to try that again.
Travis Lulay, 2011, and he went off.
I don't think you'd want to try doing that again.
No, you don't want to. No, if they did, though, and it unfolded that way, I think they take it.
There's Lule with Kevin Glenn. And Glenn looks down, touchdown. Caught by Courtney Taylor. There's the first CFL touchdown throw of Beck, who's going to get the football.
Now he's going to give his receiver, and then he's going to get the ball.
Gives the receiver a hug, grabs the football for the official. So Beck's got his first CFL touchdown pass late in the fourth quarter.
Really late. Not well-designed play. Stuck it in there. Cleanup duty. Always tough to gauge and assess somebody's real ability in this situation, but take advantage of the opportunities, and that's what John Beck just did.
And they'll go for 2 now. That was a 7-play, 75-yard drive aided by 3 major penalties against the Montreal Alouettes. So Beck on the 2-point conversion try, throws, it's incomplete. As he looks to Ernest Jackson.
Ernest into the boundary, just running a 2 route or a quick out.
I mean, that was Corey Williams.
Yeah, that's Corey Williams. Bang. That wasn't a very good route. Just ran up to the defender and then cut and said, cover me. That quarterback had to make a very accurate throw. Just missed him, but he could have snapped out and speed cut it, had it in the front of the end zone, but he drove it too deep and they didn't connect. I probably talked out a turn there. A speed cut is just quickly come out of your break in front of the end zone instead of running up to the defender, touching him, saying, tag, you're it, and cutting out. He could have cut that on a speed cut much sooner, and the ball could have been put on him in the front of the end zone for an easy score. That's something that they'll have to work on and establish a rapport.
So our TSN decision desk will declare the Montreal Alouettes the winner of this one, still to come tonight. The Ticats and the Eskimos. Zach Calaros versus Mike Riley. Apparently Matt and I will be at the hotel watching that game.
Along with everybody else in our group.
Okay. Yeah. Apparently there's a curfew in place tonight, gentlemen, just so you know, and ladies. Matt's declared a curfew on Friday night in Montreal. Thanks a lot.
I'm just trying to put a little cover out there, Gord.
Harry Jones, the offensive coordinator, first-year OC now for the BC Lions after winning a Grey Cup with the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year. And Paul McCallum will now come on to perform the kickoff duties, which will tell the world that BC's going to kick it onside.
Yes. Everybody.
Now, short kickoff, rather. Every kick's onside, but
yeah,
short kickoff.
And you know, Paul works on this, been working on it for like 22 years. So he better be pretty good at it. If he doesn't...
How good are his teammates at it? That's the question.
Well, watch this kick. Look at that. That's unbelievable. That's well done.
A long wedge down there.
Nobody's down there, though.
S.J. Green grabs it.
That's a nice job on Montreal's return team of blocking everybody away from SJ so he can sky and go get it at its highest point and bring it down unabated.
So 2 teams were under the heat lamp entering this game, both the Alouettes and Lions, and now it remains shining squarely on Benavides and the BC Lions.
Absolutely, 0-2.
And facing Saskatchewan next week.
Yeah, I think most of the talk was about Montreal was going on, in my opinion, but squarely on his shoulders now, and the spotlight is in BC, and preseason favorite to win the Grey Cup.
Kevin Glenn threw 7 interceptions last year. He threw 6 in his first 49 attempts this year. Along the ground goes Stephen Lumbala.
You know, I'm happy for this kid early in his career, trying to figure it out underneath all kinds of pressure. You know, trying to sift through 4 or 5 different offenses in the last year. And he kind of finds his footing here. Helped out early by the defense, but he spotted the ball well for the most part. Got some help with some incredible catches, little favorable calls, and ran the ball well himself, but did himself some justice by rebounding the way he did tonight under a lot of pressure here in Montreal. And those are pretty decent numbers for a kid that's looking for a victory, and he went out and earned it tonight.
Jeff Parrott shaking up for the Alouettes, makes his way slow to the sidelines, and appears to have hurt his right arm.
You do not want to see this. It doesn't look good. That looks like
That is one tough hombre, by the way.
does not look good. That's the guy that Big Hill was going at it with earlier. That looks like something's broken. His right arm, right hand. That's the life of an offensive lineman. You get that caught up in a cage of somebody's jersey, and you look at any offensive lineman, plenty length of time, college ball or professionally, and have mangled hands. Comes with the territory. Make some adjustments up front.
So final minute now of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Ryan White steps in, third-year player from Bishop, playing right tackle in the final minute.
And Stephen Lumbala, to add to his totals, he gets close to another Alouettes first down. Lumbala's.
Yeah, you know, why not give this kid some love? You know, third-year player. Ryan White from Bishops, you know, comes in. He's a right tackle playing for Jeff Parrott here. First play he's in. Call comes right to him. Doesn't do a whole lot, but he's trying, right?
And he helps his team
this
get.
Guy ran out of the way.
They're short by a stitch on the football. 50 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. There is Ryan White, as you mentioned, from
He is.
Bishops, about 2 hours down the road.
Well, he's got all the parts. He's 6'4", 290, 27. He's learned. I mean, this has been a factory for offensive linemen.
Yeah.
You know, we saw Ryan Bomden, multifaceted offensive lineman who's now the right guard for the Owls, and you know, just anchored by Brodeur, and Christian Matt has worked his way in the lineup, and Bork's been there, and Parrott, of course, but this is just more of the same. Guys are plug-and-play players and seem primed and ready to go when they get their opportunity, and Ryan White's going to be the next.
So Tanner Marsh of the short yardage unit are going to come on for Montreal. We didn't see Marsh earlier. Of course, Marsh was the man who last year engineered the fourth quarter comeback.
Can we see that?
By the Alouettes.
You think? Think we see that?
Now?
That throw? Yeah.
A little late.
Well, so nothing's going on here.
They're going to run a play.
I know what they're going to do.
I'll tell you what. How about you let the producer produce the game and you just analyze it? How's that?
Ask the question. Yeah. Well, yeah. Chris Edwards, our producer, said, why start now?
True enough.
Yeah.
True enough. Once a quarterback, always a quarterback. Now we got a problem. Now the Lions have called timeout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, here you go, Matt.
Yeah. Here we go. Little March Madness for you.
Timeout called by the Lions.
What's going on here? Here we go.
This is the game last year, so Marsh comes off the bench. They erase an 11-point BC lead with 7 to go, and then on the final play of the game,
14-yarder.
Warrior the catch, and the field goal by White. Marsh Madness it was, August 22nd, 2013. Anything else you'd like to see? A movie?
Eddie is really good.
And Marsh
guys are on. I don't care.
Dives ahead.
After the night we had last night, for him to be able to pull that off.
Matt, you're really telling people too much.
I'm just teasing.
No,
they don't know if I'm telling the truth or not.
Do you have any unexpressed thoughts?
My filter's pretty good, Gord.
Your filter needs some work. Your filter needs some work.
Well, I hope the second game's a little more exciting than this one, but the good on Montreal for turning around.
Hey, the Alouettes will take anything they can get at this point. They go 1-1. We mentioned for the Lions last year, 3-6 on the road, 3-7, including the playoff loss in Saskatchewan last year.
I wonder what they were doing last night.
Probably trying to figure out how to bounce back from last week's loss, Matt.
Yeah. Okay.
Filter. And victory formation for the Alouettes as Smith takes a knee. And now the clock will run. And the kickoff just starting now. Hamilton and Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium.
Boy, that'll be a good one.
And for Tom Higgins, he has won his first game as head coach of the Montreal Alouettes. And when you have 4 sacks like Bowman did, you can do what you want.
I guess so. He should be able to dump 4 of those on his head coach with no problem. Tom Higgins will take it too. Well deserved. Nice. Bowman. Huge output tonight. Taking advantage, full opportunity of what was in front of him Boy, they stunted the heck out of that young BC offensive line.
So the Alouettes win it by a score of 24-9. They shut out the Lions in the opening half of the football game, run the record to 1-1. The Lions fall to 0-2. For Matt Dunnigan, John Liu, and all of us at TSN, I'm Gord Miller. Now we'll send you to Edmonton for the Ticats and the Eskimos.